6.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The San Francisco 49ers have a Week 2 duel in Southern California against the Los Angeles Rams. Coverage of the game begins at 12 o'clock noon on Sunday, right here on Sactown Sports 1140 and the Sactown Sports app. In baseball, there's 15 games left in the season for the San Francisco Giants. Going into the weekend, they are tied with the Diamondbacks and Reds for the 6th and final NL wildcard spot, and the Miami Marlins are a half game behind the group of 3. Giants have 4 games over the next 3 days against the Colorado Rockies. And now it's time for your Fortinet Championship update live from Silverado Resort in Napa Valley. This update is, of course, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Same leader as yesterday, Lucas Herbert posting a 63. He is 9 under for the tournament. And then tied for second place, we have Cam Davis and Callum Tarrant, along with S.H. Kim, and a large group of players sitting at 6 under. We'll have updates for you all throughout the day. Reminder to head out to the Marysville Stampede tomorrow and Sunday, September 16th and 17th at the Cotton Ross Arena. You can get your tickets at MarysvilleStampede.com. Those are your headlines. Let's get the show on the road.
Sacramento, what's poppin'? This is Sactown Sports, 1140 a.m., taking you from now, 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. And it might be in the a.m., but Henry's rocking like it's the p.m.
Man, I'm getting my hyphy on.
He is Hank, the high flyer. I am Zakariah. And like I said, we'll take you until 2 p.m. You can check us out. You can check out Hank dancing on YouTube. Just search Sactown Sports. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Zach Sports, Z-A-K Sports. He's at Hank, the high flyer. We got a bunch to get to on this Friday. Are you one of those, are you a happy Friday guy? Do you say that ever?
Of course.
You do?
Yeah, it's
okay.
Friday.
Do you also say happy Monday?
No.
Okay. All right.
Ever.
Okay, good.
Because I'm dragging every Monday.
Yeah, when people say happy Monday, I don't like it at all.
You know what? I wonder what they do in life.
Well, it's just trying to spin it. I mean, you know it's not a happy Monday.
Bro.
Unless you had an amazing Sunday.
But still,
You know
let me tell you something.
Oh, it's even worse.
It's even worse. If you had an amazing Sunday,
that's true.
You know Monday's going to be a downer.
yeah, for sure. A lot of people don't like Sundays. It's my favorite day of the week because even God rested on Sunday. I read the comics in the newspaper, and it's the best on Sundays. And there's nothing to do, and there's a bunch of football on.
You know what is funny? I'm about to test you a little bit.
Okay.
Way back in the day when I first started going to the Oakland Boys Club, I had a chance to write on a comic, a little comic view thing. It was called the Wee Pals. You remember them?
No.
I used to write for the Oakland Tribune.
Nice.
And we used to do.
You made comics?
Yes.
Oh, were they funny?
They were funny, but I drew comics.
Oh, nice.
How about that?
I actually had a nice hand at drawing.
That is called a little known fact about Henry.
Yeah.
I like that.
The high flyer is a bit of an artist.
Hey, I had skills with the pen.
I got you. And the rock.
Definitely with the rock.
Yeah, multi-talented. So speaking of Sundays, the Niners will be playing the Rams come this Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll get to Thursday Night Football coming up at about 10:15. That was not a horrible game, but not necessarily the closest game. But whatever. And a rule that needs to be changed, and yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. We'll get into that 10:15.
I'm not going to Al Michaels it, but
yeah, no, it wasn't horrible, but I mean, put it like this: the score made it look a lot closer than it actually was.
Yes.
So we'll do that at 10:15. But right now, the Niners are going to L.A. and they call it Levi's South because of but this is what I saw, and I just couldn't believe it. Have you seen the movie Dumb and Dumber?
Of course.
Okay, you remember when he trades in the van for a little scooter? And Harry goes to Lloyd. He says, just when I thought you couldn't get any dumber,
yes,
you do something like this, and you think he's going to get mad. See, now this is that without the punchline of totally redeem yourself. This is just when I thought you couldn't get any. The Niners are wearing home red on Sunday.
Yeah.
We already talked about how it's going to be a sea of red on Sunday, and they're letting the Niners wear red. It's going to literally look like Levi South.
Right, and it's going to look like the Niners definitely have a home game.
Yeah, I bet you the Rams are going to have to do a silent snap call in their own stadium. I saw that and I just laughed. But just in terms of the actual game, I was watching some footage from Purdy, and we're going to get to TJ Houshmandzadeh. TJ, who's your mama?
Right.
Yesterday we had him on Kyle Shanahan, and today we're going to have some clips from him on Brock Purdy. And Greg Papa, legendary broadcaster. He was on earlier with the morning show, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross, 6 to 10 every weekday. Good and he was disparaging Tua, which I thought was unnecessary, but he was doing it while praising Purdy. And it's true. A lot of what Purdy's doing, you don't look at the stats, Hank, because the stats are not going to be eye-popping.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
But his ability to look off, like one of the biggest attributes of a quarterback is their ability to make it look like they're not going where they're going to go.
Right.
And his ability to look at a guy, they ran a play action. All the motion was going towards Debo.
To the left.
And it looked like he was definitely going there. So it took the safety over there. And then all of a sudden he turns to his right and he hits IU. So his ability to do that, I think, is going to be lights out. And once again, like I said yesterday, Hank, my biggest fear is that man that made Geno Smith go, oh, my God, coming down the middle, the one and only 99, Aaron Donald.
Oh, yeah.
So as long as they keep him upright, I think they'll be fine.
And you know what? And I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers definitely had a man, maybe even double team Donald. I mean, I would, because he's the only thing that's going to really pressure Purdy back
Wreck
there.
havoc, yeah.
And if you give Purdy enough time, we talked about this yesterday. If you give him enough time in the pocket, he will make a good decision. Now, it's going to be a little bit different if you go one-on-one and Donald's just coming down the middle and he's always pressuring him. Now, all of a sudden, you got a different style of quarterback. He might not be able to give you that type of diversion because he might have his eyes on one thing and one thing only, and that's not the receivers. It's worried about where Donald's coming from.
100%. All eyes have to be on him. And I think, look, everybody in life makes mistakes, right?
True.
The key is, do you learn from your mistakes? Right? Like, you could be in relationships or whatever. You make a mistake once. If you learn from it and don't do it again, the problem is when you make a mistake twice. And I think Purdy, even though it was at the worst possible time against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, but I think he learned from that injury in terms of just making sure, and you were talking about it yesterday, guys not sliding. As long as you learn from that and you make sure that you don't put yourself in a spot where you mess up your elbow like that, then I think moving forward, I also think they're going to be in a position where he's not going to be pressured into doing something he doesn't have to do. I think they're going to be comfortable. So he's going to know, I can throw this away and live to see another down.
That's the main thing. I think he's going to be a lot more comfortable with just seeing what's happening and saying, okay, let me get rid of this ball because I don't want to take this hit, period.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's one of those things to where, how are you going to learn from this? When you walk past the stove and you stick your hand on that eye and you burn it, okay? Yeah, you learn very fast that when you walk past there, go a little wide on that corner.
My brother, Maximilian, who's probably not listening because he doesn't love me enough, but he literally learned that the hard way. He still has a fat scar on his hand from burning his hand on the stove. So that's like an actual, I know it's a saying, but my brother actually had that happen to him.
It's for real. And when you're a kid that's always hungry and always want to be in the kitchen, it's going to happen to you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he probably was reaching for something. Some cool stats that I both heard and saw. Heard from Papa, Niners 32-2 under Shanahan when they run the ball 30 or more times.
You know what? The Niners ground game, man, has been nice. I mean, they have a yin and a yang because their receivers are big time. Yeah. I mean, Ayuk is just turning into a beast.
Well, that's the other thing they were talking about.
He's turned into a beast.
They were asking, is he the number one wideout?
He need to be.
Well, I don't think it matters because I think there's a lot of attention paid to Debo because he got the attention early on. So now that's kind of making it look like it doesn't matter. They're 1 and 2, 1A, 1B.
I mean, it's almost like Jerry Rice and John Taylor. Both of those guys, when you throw them the ball, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna catch it.
Yep. And sometimes in this industry, Henry, you get to a transition on accident, but that'll perfectly lead us into Thursday night football, which we'll get into next. You can call or text the show, 916-339-1140. You're listening to Henry the High Flyer and Zakariah right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
On Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Whether you're shopping for your favorite Honda online or in person, you'll see why Stockton Honda is the #1 Honda dealer in Northern California and why buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Visit in person or online at StocktonHonda.com, where your favorite Honda is ready for you.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Attention all tool shoppers. Get ready for the biggest DeWalt sale event of the year at Fasteners Inc. Sacramento on Saturday, September 23rd. We're bringing you the best deals on DeWalt products you've ever seen for one day only, including impact drivers for $59, combo kits for as low as $179, and up to $2,000 off your order with instant cashback rewards. Again, that's Saturday, September 23rd only. Come on down and get better tools for better prices at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Find us at 6701 Power Inn Road and learn more at fastenersinc.net.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
He steps forward. There are no seconds on the clock as he throws a pop-up downfield. It's batted around. It's incomplete. The clock runs out, and the Eagles survive again.
Can I go?
34-28.
I
They beat
remember
the Minnesota
when it
Vikings.
all began. I used to sing dirty raps to my Eastside fans. Back then, I used to be down with rap. No MC could rock like that. That's my man, Short Dog.
Now, you know what's crazy about Short? He's been doing it for so long that I bet you there's kids that know Short that don't even know that life is too short.
I tell you what.
He spanned that many generations.
Me and Short went to Fremont High School from 10th grade to 12th grade. His name is Todd Shaw.
Yep.
He sat one seat in front of me in all my classes. It was Todd Shaw and Henry Turner for 3 years straight.
Wow. You have his number to this day?
Oh, man. I got one of his first mixtapes.
Nice.
Game 1.
Wow. That's what's
on
up.
cassette.
You still have it?
On cassette. My mama has it somewhere.
Don't let her listen to it.
Hey, no. Malduka Savage now.
Welcome back in Sacramento. This is Sactown Sports 1140 alongside Henry Turner. I am Zakariah. Call or text the show 916-339-1140. Did a little Niners preview. We'll be doing Niners throughout the day. But last night, Hank, Thursday Night Football, we joked about Al Michaels. I don't know that this was a game that you would have necessarily complained about. High scoring, 34-28. I don't know what the over-under was, but I assumed they hit the over. But the score, only separated by 6 points, doesn't truly represent how close the game, or how not close the game was, I should say. The Eagles were up 3 touchdowns in the second half.
Turnovers.
Turnovers. And the Vikings cannot afford to have turnovers like that. And surprisingly, Kirk Cousins had none. He had no picks. It was all fumbles.
Right.
And it just, you could tell the head coach, his name is slipping my mind, but he said after the game was over, go ahead, Kyle. Yeah, Kevin O'Connell said, like, they basically based their whole, I mean, every coach says this, watch the turnovers.
Right.
But the way that he worded it, his verbiage was that they base their whole philosophy around not turning the ball. Like, they're a team specifically that is built, because some teams allow their players to be
free.
Yeah, like the Bills.
Free flowing,
that bit them in the you-know-what.
Of course.
But a lot of the times they'll take the great with Josh Allen that comes along with sometimes being sloppy with the ball.
Whenever you can make a play out of nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll take his 4 touchdowns to his 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
But the Vikings specifically are not built to be able to turn the ball over like that, and it left them with no chance. And based on the fact that, like I said, the game wasn't as close as it looked like, but you take away them turnovers, and we're talking about a totally different game.
A totally different game. You know, once they turn that ball over, and then you look at the Eagles ground game. The Eagles ground game, they sliced through Minnesota like table butter.
DeAndre Swift, have yourself a game. Yeah, 259 yards on the ground. Did you see? You gotta love Philly. They threw batteries at Santa, or no, they threw batteries at somebody, but they booed Santa. They're just known for being crazy. They were booing him in the first half.
They threw snowballs at Santa, threw batteries at someone else.
Hey, there we go.
Philadelphia is no joke.
I know.
I mean, just the fan base, period.
They're crazy.
In all their sports,
yep.
Even with the 76ers.
100%.
Philly fans just go hard. Yes. They go hard in the paint.
Yeah, and they were booing them in the first half. It's like, okay, you guys made it to the Super Bowl last year. You're 1-0. You know, it's very early.
Started out 8-0 last year.
They were winning 3-0, and they were booing them. Anyways, I mean, that's Philly. But yeah, just watching that game, it was really kind of old school football for Philly. Like you said, the run game, they only had $171 in the air,
right.
259 on the ground. At one point, they had a 16-play, 75-yard touchdown drive. It took almost 8 minutes off the clock. They ran the ball 13 times. They passed the ball 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's football from when I was young. That's back when Emmitt Smith, Thurman Thomas, Barry Sanders, back when the running back.
Ground and pound. Let's go.
Exactly. So
Walter Payton, ground and pound the ball in. And, you know, I think a lot of it, too, it was, you know, when they turned the football over, they had great field position.
Of course.
So, of course, you could afford to run it.
Yeah. Well, 4 fumbles, 1 from Cousins, 1 from Brandon Powell, 1 from Alexander Madison. Not that anybody had him on their fantasy team, but that really chapped my hide. And then the most controversial one, Henry, was the one from Justin Jefferson.
Right.
And I don't know why it took this play. It did totally change it. It was a 10-point swing from them going down and almost scoring a touchdown, and then the Eagles end up kicking like a 60-yard field goal.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up being like a 10-point swing. And go ahead.
I'm just saying, how come that play don't get enough love?
You mean enough attention?
Enough love.
Love for what? You love the play?
No. A 60-yard field goal.
Because it's a field goal.
I don't care.
Nobody cares about the kickers.
That's impressive, man. Come on.
Fair enough.
I'm with you, HT.
That's impressive.
61 yards, and he would have made it from like 65.
Yes, he had some room to spare. Okay, man. You know what? I'm just
Zach's just hating.
I am hating.
Hey, I'm just trying to point out the fine points of the game. You know what? You will you will win or lose on a field goal. True enough?
Yes.
And how many times have games come down to the field goal kicker?
Yeah, it's true.
And if you got a guy that can boot it from 61, and have some room, man, you got a weapon.
He kicked that ball from his own 49-yard line.
When he made that field goal, dude, I got up and I just slammed my hat on the ground. I'm like, game over.
Fair enough. Okay, I didn't know this was going to turn. Do you like punters too also?
No, they don't score.
But what if they pin it inside the 2, Henry? Hey, no, I'm one of those guys
that's a part of it, though.
The rest of the 52-man roster is grinding. They're eating like shakes. They're eating 5 meals a day. They're working out. They're doing blood sweat. Those dudes are on the sideline in sweatpants, and then they kick for like 10 minutes and their practice is over. But I like that you admire or can appreciate a field goal. I appreciate it.
Come on, man. If you can shoot 98% from the free throw line, that's big time, right?
That's true.
There you go.
That's true.
And it's just a free throw.
But you got to get to the line.
But you take some punishment.
That's like a dude pulling up from beyond half court and burying a three-pointer.
Okay. I didn't know that this was going to be love for the kicker segment. But to get back to the most controversial fumble, it was Justin Jefferson fumbling into the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Then the ball gets returned, and like we said, then the long field goal. I don't know why it took this play because I feel like this time around it's getting more attention. Now, maybe I'm just forgetting the other times where it happened, or maybe it wasn't as significant as this, but that rule needs to be changed. It's complete nonsense. Any other time that you fumble, anywhere else on the field that you fumble,
right,
you get the ball. Now, you can't fumble it forward.
Right.
Otherwise, guys would just chuck it down the field and it would go out of bounds and you'd get it there. But it goes from where you fumbled it.
Exactly.
So that ball should have been on the inch, the centimeter,
right?
Instead of, or even if you want to do it I don't know, say make it 5 yards or something. Because if you want to make the argument that because it went through the end zone, the other team didn't have a chance to recover it. But that's true.
But that's like going out of bounds.
That's true on exactly. That's true on the 50-yard line as well. Right. I mean, I guess because it's right in the middle as opposed to going on the side like it's out of bounds. Anyways, to me, that doesn't make that big of a difference. And I don't know why this is the first time I've heard people actually bringing that up. I mean, I'm sure even me, I'm sure I've noticed it before and thought that was dumb. But for whatever reason, I feel like it resonated a lot more last night.
I think because it was a play that really could have swung the game in a different direction if that was a touchdown.
Yeah, but there has to be examples where even the stakes were higher.
Or even if they was able to retain the ball. If they would have said, okay, the ball went out of bounds, they get the ball right there, like I said, on the centimeter line, and then go ahead and make a touchdown.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case.
Well, they've got to take a look at that, I would think. I would think that the league, I mean, I don't know if it's going to get enough attention throughout the day for them to actually change the rule. And I don't know exactly what the explanation is, but Henry, there's had to have been times where
I'm pretty sure
there was even a bigger stakes at hand, like a playoff game.
It did happen in a playoff game.
Yeah, exactly.
The Seahawks, Cam Chancellor punching the ball out the back of the end zone instead of recovering it. I don't know if you remember that from 8 years ago, but that was like the last time we had this conversation was because of that.
Yeah, but did it get this much attention?
No.
Because I heard pretty much everybody talking about it.
You know what? And like I said,
national.
It wasn't a huge game, but for some reason, like you said, that play almost on every Sports Center, every highlight reel, they were showing that one play over and over and over.
You know why? It was the only game on.
True.
If that thing gets lost in the shuffle at 10 a.m., well, California time, 10 a.m. or 1 p.m., and there's a bunch of other games going on.
I agree with you on that.
Usually Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, even Sunday Night Football, there's not as much of a magnifying glass on it. But, yeah, I think it's something the Rules Committee has to consider because it just doesn't make sense to me. I understand partly what the argument is that it's the end zone, so it's a different part of the field. But everywhere else, it's very simple. I get why you can't fumble forward, but you should get it where you fumbled it because it totally changed it. I mean, 10-point swing, especially in that game, is huge, and especially going in, riding the momentum into the halftime.
Big time.
So
it could have changed the whole trajectory of the game.
Yeah, and now I talked about the numbers for teams that fall to 0-2. Now the Vikings are looking at, and that's going to bring up a whole nother can of worms because he might end up this is his last year contractually. So if they're completely out of contention and the Vikings want to move on, Kirk Cousins is one of those guys that he always seems to get it. He's got like 9 lives, but he kind of justifies each life just enough. But never enough to think that this is our guy. Like he's never like Patrick Mahomes justified, but enough to be like, he's our quarterback.
We can keep him.
Yeah. So anyways, not a great game, not a horrendous game. But nonetheless, I hope they take a look at it at least. All right, coming up next, FIBA games. Henry's hot on it. I'm hot on it. Our other teams catching up. And plus, we'll get to some sound. We'll do all of that next. You're listening to Zakariah and Henry, the high flyer, right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
The Amish have a reputation for craftsmanship, determination, and quality. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. You know, those virtues sound quite similar to the Keys family and the day-to-day values on display at Naturewood. The Amish furniture craftsmanship begins with the finest hardwood, shaping and molding the raw materials into one-of-a-kind art. In addition to the classic styles long sought and revered by discriminating furniture lovers, Naturewood Home Furnishings offers a vast selection that includes transitional, modern, farmhouse, arts and crafts, and other stunning styles, all available in the ultimate Amish standard of excellence built over centuries. All Naturewood Amish furniture is on sale right now for a limited time. Let the Naturewood team guide you through their selection of Amish furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Safe Credit Union is our local community-based financial partner, and they are committed to the well-being of their members. Jason Ross here, and we all work hard to reach our financial goals, and banking with Safe helps make that a reality. Because with Safe, you always get competitive rates on savings and loans so you can spend less and save more for your future. If you're not a member yet, give Safe a try and discover all that truly makes Safe one of the best credit unions in California. Join today at safecu.org/join. Safe Credit Union is insured by NCUA.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The San Francisco 49ers have a Week 2 duel in Southern California against the Los Angeles Rams. Coverage of the game begins at 12 o'clock noon Sunday right here on Sactown Sports 1140 and the Sactown Sports app. In baseball, there's 15 games left in the season for the San Francisco Giants. The Giants are tied with the Diamondbacks and Reds for the 6th and final NL wildcard spot, and the Miami Marlins are a half game behind that group of 3. The Giants have 4 games over the next 3 days against the Colorado Rockies. Reminder, come on out to the Marysville Stampede this weekend. It's tomorrow and Sunday at the Cotton Rosser Arena. You can get your tickets right now at MarysvilleStampede.com. Also, reminder that all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now it's time for your Fortinet Championship update live from the Silverado Resort in Napa Valley. This update is, of course, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. So right now we have Lucas Herbert still sitting in first place at 9 under. He's yet to tee off for the day. We have Sahith Tigala, who is currently 8 under and 4 under for the day. And then we got a large group of players sitting at 7 under, including Cam Davis and the American Eric Cole. Now let's return to the show right here on Sactown Sports.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916 Sactown Sports.
Welcome back, Sacramento. This is Sactown Sports 1140 alongside Henry the High Flyer. I am Zakariah. You can join in on the program. Jump in on YouTube, search Sactown Sports. We got some chats going on in there, so we'll get to that. And then also you can call or text the show 916-339-1140. Coming up at 10:45. Fun in the 40s, FTF. Actually, it should be FIF. Fun in the 40s. And then you remember Dave Chappelle?
Of course.
You remember when he did I Plead the Fifth?
Yeah.
Talking about all the famous celebrities that he wouldn't testify.
Right.
And then he got to the point where he just started saying fifth.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the jokes as it goes later, he writes FIF on a piece of paper and holds it up to the judge. So we'll call it the fifth.
All right.
I plead the fifth.
The fifth.
The fifth. So we'll get into that. We got haircuts. We got all sorts of fun stuff at 10:45. That's where we just we have fun. That's why it's called Fun in the 40s. But right now, the FIBA games. Now, did you know that the FIBA rankings came out today? Are you excited about that?
At all.
Well, even though we did not get the gold, we are still number one, as we probably should be. And maybe that's an anticipation that we are going
Hold
to.
on. Wait.
What's up?
If we didn't get the gold, how can we be ranked number one?
Because they know we're better than everybody.
Because
and that
we sent an under 25 team to the
because we're
games?
probably going to bring our best players.
Okay. I understand all of that. Okay. You send your D squad.
Mm-hmm.
You get smacked.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, but just because you think we're number one, you're going to rate us number one. No, Germany should be number one.
Okay.
They won.
Okay, look at you, hot take McGee.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, normally you're reserved. You're bringing fire today, Henry, talking about kickers, and now you said Germany number one?
No, I just hate when you don't give people their just due.
Yeah. Well, I can give you an explanation if you'd like.
I would like one.
FIBA said in a news release that the Americans climbed from number 2 back to number 1 for, quote, after benefiting from their consistency at major tournaments over the last 3 summers. So it is partly what they had done for you and what they're probably going to do for you, and not necessarily what they had done for you lately.
That's totally different.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of factoring in what's a good comparison. So, like in college football, Alabama was in the top 3, and then they lost to Texas. They went down to 12. But next season, if they have a great recruiting class or whatever, they're going to be preseason number 1. Now, it's not what they did last year. It's what they're assuming, what they've done historically and what they're going to do in the future. But I hear you. You win the gold, damn it. You should be number 1.
Exactly.
Like right now, who's number 1 in the NBA?
Denver.
The Denver Nuggets.
Until you knock them off, they are the champs. That's why I'm saying that. It's like, how can you say, oh, well, you know, the Miami Heat is going to be number 1? No, they got to knock the champs off before they get to be number 1.
I actually agree with you. You have changed my mind. I mean, I do think that America has the best players in the world, but in terms of who's number 1, Germany's number 1. I'm with you on that.
I'm with that too.
Denver never had a championship before this year, but they're still number 1.
Here's the deal. I do believe that the United States have the best players in the world, but that's not who we send over there as our representatives.
Which leads me to what we were going to talk about right now. Do you think that is going to change? Do you think that this is another scenario? I don't understand why we went through this again when we already had the Redeem team. We've already gone through this where you talked about it either yesterday or maybe it was off air, but we were getting our butts kicked because we were sending out college kids, right?
That was
then
the whole
Dream Team happened.
That was the whole premises of the Dream Team.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then again, we just started not sending our best guys, and then it became headlines, and then guys all went. That was the Redeem Team, and now we're back to not sending our best guys again.
And see,
so why do you think that is? Because I would tell you that it's rest.
You know what? I'm not going to say it's rest. I think it's more so all on the United States themselves, because when it first happened, we were only sending our college guys. Only the college guys could go. And, you know, of course, Europe was getting better. They were getting better at basketball. And all of a sudden, they're playing against grown men, and they were getting their hats handed to them. So the United States said, okay, we're going to stop this because all of our pro guys don't go. Let's send our best and see what happens. That's when First Dream Team went. And they just smoked everybody in the United States, pumped their chest, and like, we are the best. This is who we are. That probably went on for like the next 2, maybe 3 Olympics.
Yeah.
To where the Dream Teams were just slaughtering the rest of the country. And then they lost interest. Guys didn't want to go. Nah, we've been there, done that. We proved it. They got lackluster
and got whooped
until they start getting smacked again. And then there's go your Redeem Team.
Yep.
Okay, fellas, we got to show our dominance again. Let's go.
So are we just going to continue the same cycle every few years? We're going to go back, send our best players, dominate, then not send our best. Like, do we think that because you asked me in the commercial break, you said, because we keep sending our third best team. And then you stopped for a second and you said, Is that even our third best team?
Is that even our third best team?
And
right.
I said yes. I do think that's our third squad.
You know what? I can tell you what. I probably can go around the league and get you 10 guys that probably would beat that team.
Not counting the top 20 guys.
Not counting the top 20 guys.
I'd have to go through it. But now, see, this is the other reason why the gap is closing. A lot of the best players in the NBA aren't American.
Hey, they're catching up.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you went through that 1 through, so we're talking 1 through 40.
Right.
And you think you can find 30 through 40 that's better than 20 through 30. I'm saying that whole 1 through 40, you're going to find a lot of guys that you have to cut off the list because they're not American.
So it's funny that you guys brought this up because Tom Haberstroh on Twitter went through this exact exercise.
Oh, and we didn't even steal that. We did that on our own.
So you
Maybe
guys,
he's
I'm
listening
going to go through the starting lineup of the D team. He gives full 12-man rosters, but I'm just going to put the D team out here.
Okay.
So first of all, this was the FIBA starting lineup. It was Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Anthony Edwards, Mikal Bridges, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Okay.
And then off the bench, you have Reeves and Halliburton and some other people.
Yeah.
Team D that he brings up is Fred VanVleet,
Okay.
CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton,
Right.
Julius Randle, Kevon Looney.
Okay.
And then off the bench, we have Tyrese Maxey and you could say Mike Conley.
Yeah, I think I beat you. I think C beats D there.
I don't know.
I think our squad beats that squad.
It might be
the
tough.
squad that we sent out.
So this is the fourth team. The first three, I think it's indisputable, are better than the team we sent to FIBA.
You do?
So here's the C team real quick. The starting lineup is Chris Paul, LaMelo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Jared Allen.
Who do they have as the team that we sent?
The team that we did send is E.
Oh.
But, I mean, you could say that D is not as good as E, so maybe it's the fourth best team.
Gotcha.
But the third
that's
best
what he
team,
said. He said fourth best.
Yeah, the third best team is definitely better. I just listed it off. Off the bench, you have Bradley Beal, Darius Garland, Desmond Bane. That team is definitely better.
I mean, I think we're splitting hairs here, but the bottom line is we can all agree it's not A or B.
Yeah, the bottom line is,
and we should at least be sending B, right?
Yes, the bottom line is if you had any type of sentiment about winning, you're going to send your best guy.
Yeah, I know. But so what I don't get is why do we keep doing it?
Because your best guys say, nah, I'm cool. I'm good. I done that.
But then now the reports are coming out that they do want to do it. So my whole thing is,
I mean, think about it right now.
If they had won.
Hey, Steph Curry is like, been there, done that. Bron James, man, I've been on so many these teams. I'm done with that. Anthony Davis, same way.
But is it just
Dame Lillard, same way. You go down those lists of our number one guys, you're like, my season coming up is more important.
Okay, so then let me just ask you this. Is it because we're losing? Had we won this, would you be seeing reports that now all of a sudden the other guys are going to play again next year?
No.
So it's because we're losing.
Yeah, because we're getting smacked.
So it takes us losing for them to have the pride to want to do it.
Once they get smacked up, then guys are like, okay, fellas, we got to go over there and show who we are again.
Well, part of me likes that. And part of me it annoys me.
Hey.
Part of me likes it that they get angry enough if they get slapped up. But then the other part is why not just prevent that and do it on your own?
It's the arrogance of, well, let's send him.
We don't have to be there.
Yeah.
We can send our C team. We're good.
They'll get it done.
Yeah, they'll get it done. And then they don't get it done.
And then they don't get it done.
I guess we got to come out.
Now it's a travesty. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. I would think you would just have pride from the get-go, and you would want to ensure that you're not even in that spot.
It's like the equivalent of Pop sending home Tony Parker Ginobili and Tim Duncan and still playing the game.
Well, I don't think Pop thought he was going to win that game, but yeah.
He won.
They did?
They won that game.
That game?
Yeah,
they won that
did.
game.
Beat the Heat?
Yes.
That was the whole thing, yeah.
They won the game.
That's amazing.
So how can you just punish Pop for sending home his top three guys?
And they win.
And they still win.
David Stern fined him $500,000 for it.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I'm sure the ratings weren't nearly as good.
And that just goes to show that's what it's all about.
Yep.
It wasn't about the winning and losing.
Nope.
It was about the ratings.
Like Adam Silver, fans and partners, a.k.a. my salary, my $10 million a year salary. All right, coming up next, fun in the 40s. You're listening to Henry the High Flyer and Zakariah right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
I used to sing dirty raps to my Eastside fans. Back then, I used to be down with rap. No MC could rock like that. That's my man, Show.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. It's the end of summer blowout on all their systems. Right now, $2,500 off full systems, as low as $34 a week. And now, American Energy Heating and Air offering a free Wi-Fi smart thermostat of your choice on high-efficiency units. Look, the uncomfortable becomes comfortable with American Energy Heating and Air. They've been around since 1981, making the greater Sacramento area proud with an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And as always, their goal is to exceed your expectations, exceed them of the heating and air industry, valuing the customer experience and making your home comfortable. It's that simple. Go to American Energy Heating and Air and get yourself a free Wi-Fi smart thermostat of your choice on high-efficiency units.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, A's catcher Shea Langoliers has had a pretty remarkable year. He's been behind the plate as the A's primary catcher for a team that has employed 39 pitchers. And offensively, as he approaches 20 home runs, he is closing in on some of the best figures for a catcher in A's history. Ramon Hernandez had 21 homers back in 2003. The gold standard, Terry Steinbach, 35 in 96. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
When every shot counts, the professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio encourage you to try the brand new Titleist T-Series irons. Irons designed to enhance your play through control, distance, flight, forgiveness, looks, sound, and feel. With 4 T-Series models, the fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Welcome back, Sacramento. It is Sactown Sports 1140. Alongside Henry the High Flyer, I am Zakariah. You can call or text the show, 916-339-1140. On Twitter, Instagram, the World Wide Web, all that good stuff. Sactown Sports. You'll find us.
The Ghetto. That's a classic right there. Just the bass line alone. How hard is that?
Might be one of the few I don't know. Who is it?
It's too short.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
Man, one of the few too short songs I don't know.
Yeah.
Wonder what year it came out.
The Ghetto.
My first one was Get In Where You Fit In, but I know a few before.
I think this is Short Dogs in the House.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I should know that.
That's nice.
Sounds familiar. It is nice.
That bass line is cool.
It is a nice bass line. Coming up, top of the hour, 11 o'clock, we talked about TJ Hushmanzada yesterday when he was talking about Kyle Shanahan, called him the truth, Henry.
Yeah.
And told
the truth.
Told any Niners fans calling for his job that they need to check themselves. But he also had some kind words to say about Brock Purdy. Needless to say, TJ's a big fan of the red and gold.
Okay.
So we'll get into that. Plus look a little bit more Niners-Rams coming up on Sunday. But right now, it's what we do. It's the 5th. I plead the 5th. It's fun in the 40s. And this is where we go around the wacky world of sports. HT. What did people call you when you played? Well, other than the high five. I'm assuming your teammates didn't call you the high flyer.
No. It was either HT or Hank.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Either or.
Fans called you the high flyer.
Yes.
Did somebody give you that nickname? Because you're not allowed to give yourself the nickname.
Not at all. I told you, Jim Colzamore gave me that name.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know Jim. I worked with him.
Yeah, Jimmy Colzamore gave me that name way back when I was playing in the CBA.
Nice.
Yeah, I was playing for the Rochester Flyers.
Yeah, he's a lifer in the broadcasting.
He was broadcasting for the Catbirds.
Okay.
At that particular time. And he interviewed me, and he said he called me Hank the High Flyer.
Love it.
And I was oh, that's cool. And it stuck.
Yeah. I figured it was when you did the 360 jam and the coach almost rang your neck.
Oh, no. I was a couple of other names besides that.
So, can't say on the radio.
Exactly.
I'm sure. All right, well, let's start with Jermaine O'Neal. Hank, I want to know how you feel about this. He was one of the best Pacers ever. Had a very prominent role in the Malice at the Palace. If you remember, I was most impressed with him. I don't know if impressed is the right word, but in terms of if you were grading it like it was a boxing match, Jermaine O'Neal just leveled a guy. Guy ran up on him and just boom, he was on his back.
Okay.
Ron Artest jumped in the crowd. You know what my favorite moment of that whole thing is, right?
Steven Jackson.
No, it was
the dustpan. The guy ran out with a dustpan.
That was great. Also, no, it was after. It was all three of them. It was Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest, and Steven Jackson. And Ron Artest. It's funnier when Steven Jackson delivers it, but he said Ron Artest.
I like Ron.
I do too.
I like Ron.
But Meta World Peace is a little off.
True.
Anyways, he looks to them and he goes,
"You think we'll get in trouble with this?"
Exactly. Said you think we're gonna get suspended?
You think we'll get suspended for this?
Steven Jackson was like, "We'll be lucky if we're still in the league, suspended."
Right.
Anyway, that's my and because he asked it seriously. He was just wondering, like, maybe if it
true
was,
story.
Yeah, like
true
he really
story.
meant it.
Captain Jack will tell you. He said, "Ron," he said, they're in the locker room.
So good.
And Ron Artest looked at him and said,
"You think we're gonna get in trouble?
You think we're gonna get fined for this?" Captain Jack was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, and then what followed was like the most expensive and lengthy suspensions and fines that you'll probably ever catch in any sport.
Rightfully so. But I will say this: everything that started, it needed to be addressed because there's no way, no how fans come to a game and they want to throw things at the players.
100%
shouldn't be accepted.
And
at
I think
all.
it was a drink, right?
And on the flip side, players should never run in the stands and engage fans.
Yeah,
it needed to be addressed on both angles.
And to me, it's very simple. You take the guy, you arrest him, you do something in terms of a fine, probably not jail time or whatever, but then he's banned from the.
Right.
You need to set the precedent that it's never going to happen again. People need to know what the ramifications are going to be.
People need to know what the ramifications are, and you need to set the presence with the players and let them know that the NBA has their back when things like that happen to where you don't have to react.
Yeah, but you can't go in the stands and start an all-out brawl either.
At all.
So anyway, it's Jermaine O'Neal, one of the best Pacers ever. played 8 seasons in Indiana, 6-time NBA All-Star. He found out that Buddy Hield was switching numbers and wearing his old digit.
Buddy Buckets.
And he admitted that he was bummed. Quote, I love Buddy and the work that he puts in. My statement has nothing to do with him. It's just disappointing to watch teams every year recognize and celebrate the players who have been the franchise's very best players on and off the court, but yet the Pacers don't. It's been confusing and disappointing, to say the least.
All right.
Where do you stand on that?
I see what the angle he's going.
Okay.
He's upset because the Pacers haven't retired his number.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Uh-huh.
You know, he wants his number to be up in the rafters to where he gets acknowledged and no other player gets to wear it.
Didn't win a championship. Does that have any effect for you?
Neither did Reggie Miller.
It's true. Is his retired?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the list right now, and they say he's basically the second best. Maybe they say old-timers Mel Daniels and George McGinnis.
I mean, you really have to do your homework when you start talking about these new era players and are they the best of this, the best of that? Because you have some players that have played back in the day that really put in work. Yeah. And those 2 names you just gave was 2 of the best.
Paul George up there, but he's at least the top 5 player.
Yeah, top 5 for sure.
Yeah. But there are franchises that just don't do that. The Bengals, for instance, just started recognizing their old players a couple of years ago. I think Boomer Esiason's going in this year.
And they should. I mean,
why not is the question.
When a player come to your organization, whether you win championship or not.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Reggie Miller, how many guys get drafted by their team, spend their whole career at that same organization and put up the numbers and the things that Reggie Miller did? Rightfully so, you go up in the rafters.
Yeah, for sure. Most egregious is Dallas Cowboys not doing Jimmy Johnson, but that's some pride stuff with Jerry Jones. It's ridiculous that he's not in the Ring of Honor.
True.
Coming up at the top of the hour, getting you into the 11 o'clock hour, we will discuss TJ Hushmanzada. He's been all over our shows, and he had some strong words. We're throwing flowers everywhere, Henry. That's what the kids say.
Hey, give flowers,
We're throwing flowers everywhere. Yeah. All right, you're listening to Henry, the High Flyer, and Zakariah right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Right after the brawl, we're in the locker room, and this is why I say he never said thank you. We're in the locker room. So we're sitting there, legs all scratched up from hopping over the bleachers, our adrenaline pump, because we done laid a couple people out. We feeling like we did something, you know what I mean? We all sit back, and Ron Artest, a.k.a. Metal World Peace, leans back and look at Jim Artest and asks us, do you think we're going to get in trouble? I say, Ron, trouble? You lucky we still have a job. That was the funniest thing. That was the funniest thing ever.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Who did they decide on for the Super Bowl?
What do you mean, halftime act?
Yeah. I know that Taylor Swift.
Yeah, turned them down, right?
At what point do people turn on Taylor Swift to be like, why don't you lower your prices? And I understand the whole Ticketmaster thing, but what about the merch? Like, legit, do you have to make $1 billion? Could you make 500 million? Could you?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Everyone knows Elk Grove Kia is home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new Kia. But did you also know that Elk Grove Kia is your one-stop place for used cars? I'm talking over 300 used cars available. With Kia's certified program, with its 165-point quality assurance inspection, we know peace of mind on used cars is important. And that's why we also offer extended service agreements on all our used makes and models. Most prices are under Kelley Blue Book retail. New car protection at used car prices. From used sports cars to used delivery vans, we got them all at Elk Grove Grove Kia, and our financing folks have over 100 years of combined experience. So we approve just about everyone. No credit, little credit, bad credit, no problem. And Elk Grove Kia is proud of our don't like it, bring it back guarantee for up to 3 days or 150 miles, no questions asked. Why would you buy your used car anywhere else? So check us out online at elkgrovekia.com today.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers, and we're getting close to the end of the summer, but it's still plenty hot out there, and you've been running your AC hard all summer. That's why now is the perfect time to tune up your air conditioner.
It's had months to pick up dirt and grime, for parts to wear out, for lubrications to cake up and dry out, and just not cool like it should. It would be a miracle if it's running even at 50% efficiency.
Call Bell Brothers today for an $87 AC precision tune-up. It's a thorough 90-minute, 26-point process that will get you back to full efficiency. Keep your home more comfortable and have your AC in tip-top shape for next year.
Pick up the phone and call Bell Brothers today to schedule your $87 precision AC tune-up. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The Fortinet Championship, which returns to Silverado Resort in Napa, is regarded as the most fan-friendly stop on the PGA Tour. And who can argue with players like back-to-back champion Max Homa and 15-time PGA Tour winner Justin Thomas? The field offers someone for everyone. But the Fortinet Championship is much more than golf. It's a happening. The event brings together world-renowned local chefs and wineries. Parking will be on the grounds this year with a new entrance through a fan village. Free concerts with Brothers Osborne and Stone Temple Pilots are also included in the price of admission. Tournament week is September 11th through the 17th at the stunning Silverado Resort and Spa in the spectacular Napa Valley. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit FortinetChampionship.com. And proceeds from ticket sales support local charities. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
It's time now for the Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Solar and Home Services. Well, the road division win in Week 1 was beautiful. The follow-up for the Silver and Black, a trip to Buffalo. The Raiders haven't beaten Buffalo since 2016. It's a short week for the Bills. Josh Allen was rough in New York with 4 turnovers, and the Silver and Black will look for more. Max Crosby had 5 tackles, 2 QB hits, and a sack in Week 1. Buffalo gave up some yards to Breece Hall. The Raiders are looking to get Josh Jacobs unleashed this weekend. That's your Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Solar and Home Services. Did you hear about ACR Solar's free home battery special? Well, for a limited time, get a free LG Chem 10H home battery with a minimum purchase of 12 solar panels. Now, you'll own the system outright with no leasing involved. The offer includes 10-year parts and labor warranty for your added security and peace of mind. Take advantage of a 30% tax credit on your solar panel purchase, as the offer is limited to the first 100 customers only. Visit acrsolar.com to get the offer. The number 916-481-7200.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The San Francisco 49ers have a Week 2 duel in Southern California against the Los Angeles Rams. Coverage of the game begins at 12 o'clock noon Sunday, right here on Sactown Sports 1140 and the Sactown Sports app. There's 15 games left in the season for the San Francisco Giants. And going into the weekend, the Giants are tied with the Diamondbacks and Reds for the 6th and final National League wildcard spot in baseball, with the Miami Marlins a half game behind the group of 3. The Giants have 4 games over the next 3 days against the Colorado Rockies. Reminder that all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda is, of course, your one-stop Honda shop. And those are your headlines, and now it's time for your Fortinet Championship update live from Silverado Resort in Napa Valley. And this update is, of course, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. So right now we have Lucas Herbert sitting in first place at 9 under. He shot a 63 yesterday, a great day for him. And now tied for second, we have Sabith Tigada. And now moving into a tie, Eric Cole, who is currently on the 10th hole, and he is 8 under for the tournament, sitting in second place. There is a group of 4 golfers as well, tied for 4th place at 7 under. Those are your headlines. Now let's return to the show.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Welcome back in, Sacramento, to your 11 o'clock hour. It is Sactown Sports 1140. Alongside Henry the High Flyer, I am your boy, Zakariah. You can call or text the show, 916-339-1140. Hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Zach Sports, Z-A-K Sports. He is at Hank the High Flyer.
Yeah.
Holler at us. Send us a tweet, all that good stuff. And then on YouTube, you can see our ugly or pretty mugs, depending on
watch yourself.
Your preference. You know what I'm saying? Well, sometimes I have a face for radio. Other times I look pretty slick, if I do say so myself. But
you're saying it.
Get up in there.
At the very least, Henry and I are looking good on the camera.
There you go. There you go. Get up in there. Join in on the chat. We got a bunch of people chiming in. You know what's funny in the chat? They talk to each other. They're like, how's your day going? Oh, I'm just cleaning. About to shower. You know what I'm saying? Cool, I know. It's
our
like
YouTube regulars, man. We love Manny and Emmy and Dwayne and
Fighter 10, Emmy, yeah.
All of our YouTube regulars.
Fighter 10 says Kozamore looks sharp with his glasses. Did he change his look? Is he wearing glasses now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been squinting recently.
You know what?
I'm not quite at the glasses point yet, but I've been squinting.
I tell you what, Jim Kozamore, man, I really have to give shouts out to him because he's one of the first guys that I work with in this media game, man. And he welcomed me in and helped me out a lot, man, and taught me a lot about this business, man. So I always salute Jim Kozamore.
Yeah, he's a great dude, man. And I hear him on him. I heard an interview with him and Whitey and Watkins.
Okay.
Like a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah. He's a solid dude. Coming up at 11:15, Henry, Kings fans, if you're listening. I know you're listening. You know, they call this a one-team town. Right. I mean, we all love sports, but this is the
Kings
in terms
rule.
it was
Kings rule, bro.
Got soccer, AAA, but I mean, this
Kings
is Kings.
rule.
Yeah. Purple Town.
Yes.
So Kings fans, you're gonna want to stick around because I'm gonna give you a Steph Curry, De'Aaron Fox comparison.
Uh-oh.
Yes. How's that for a tease, Hank?
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? But right now, let's get into a little bit more 49ers football. This is Football Friday. That's what they call it in the industry, Hank. They call it Football Friday as we get ready for the weekend. And it'll be Niners-Rams. We talked about it. The Niners are going to be wearing their home reds, which I can't believe the Rams would be dumb enough to allow. It's already going to be a sea of red. Now you're going to let the field look red, too. You might as well paint the seats red.
Do it make a difference, though? Really?
It would for me.
In the overall scheme of things, the color of the jerseys, does it make a difference?
I actually played better on the road. So I'm not going to say that it affects their play. You get up no matter what. And like I said, sometimes the booing can have or the cheering for the other team can have a positive effect on your team.
I'm with that.
Annoyance. I don't like to be annoyed.
My thing is,
I've ended friendships over just the word annoyance. If you annoy me, I'm sorry. I mean, we can work together, but if you annoy me, I'm done. You're out of my life.
The color of my jersey never made a difference to me, whether they were home or away. Now, if they fit different, okay, I understand that. But the color of it never bothered me. Home jersey, away jersey, I had something that I like better than others.
Yeah.
But did it affect my play and my overall, how I looked at the game, how I prepared for the game? Nah.
Agreed. But when it's already that you're looking at a sea of red in what's supposed to be your home stadium, and then on top of that, you allow them to wear that red, I don't know. It would annoy me. That's it, though. I mean, I'm not saying it would affect the play.
I would use that as motivation.
Exactly. Well, hopefully, not hopefully, but maybe the Rams will. We'll see.
Would use that. But I'm saying just overall, of course, we want our Niners to do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
But for me as an athlete, overall, I would use that as you know what? I would be like a bull.
Yeah.
I need to see
red. Right. Like the cape. Every player's a cape.
Right.
Hey, maybe Sean McVay will use that for his pregame speech. But we talked yesterday because I frequently call the Niners the most interesting team in the league, and not just because it's the team that's predominantly rooted for in this area and California in general, but because I think there's so many fascinating dynamics to that team that other teams don't really have, specifically Purdy getting a guy where you trade a whole bunch of picks and draft a guy in the top 5, and then you end up trading him because you end up getting a guy with the last pick in the draft that looks to be your franchise quarterback. Not only just that, but all the other different parts, and one of those is the GM and the coaching positions and where they stand. And we talked about that, and TJ Hushmanzada, like I said, saying that Shanahan's the truth, and any Niners fans that don't think the same are tripping. Well, TJ also, for people that have any doubts about the quarterback, BCB, Big Sock Brock is what Carmichael Dave calls him. Greg Papa calls him Big Brain Brock, BBB.
Okay.
And anyways, there's all sorts of names. Everybody's dancing around the
Big
thing that you
Baller
can't
brand?
say. Yeah, Big Baller. Anyways, Big Baller Brock. But here is TJ on that QB and whether or not there should be any doubts.
It just goes to show you, man, that the draft is such an inexact science because he was the last pick of the draft. The 49ers give up a king's ransom for Trey Lance, and it doesn't work out. Garoppolo in a playoff game, they're afraid to throw the ball. They're just going to run the ball. And then you get this guy in Brock Purdy, goes to Iowa State, Mr. Irrelevant, and his first start, and you're like, okay, pretty good. Second start, like, oh, pretty good. And every start has been, oh, wow, he's better than pretty good. And they saw that along the way. You got to give John Lynch credit for drafting him yourself. You know he was that good. Why would you draft him earlier? Doesn't matter. You drafted him. The 49ers staff and Brian Grease is the quarterback coach, Shanahan and those guys, they developed them. The 49ers seem to be a team that draft and develop well. You look on the defensive side of the ball with Drake Jackson and Hufanga, like everybody they draft, they just play well. And so that's a good job of coaches developing players that need to be developed.
And I think that is where part of the doubt creeps in, Hank, is that it's almost as if Shanahan could have any quarterback and he would succeed based on how well he draws up plays and how good the schemes are and the motions and all of the skill positions, how skilled they are. You know, the wide receivers, the running backs, the tight ends. I feel like a lot of people think it's not necessarily Purdy, it's Shanahan.
You know what? I will say this, and this is what I took out of what he just said. It's almost like a combination. Number one, I give the coach all the credit. You know, the system will really help a player because every player is not for every system. You can bring a good quarterback in there, but if he's not a Shanahan guy, that system is not going to work for him. You know, think about it. We talked about this the other day. If you get a loose cannon quarterback that loves to run, scramble, break plays, he's not going to work well in the Shanahan system.
Nope.
He might be good at it, but he's not going to work well in that system.
Yep.
And then the second thing that I took out of that is that, and I really have to agree with that, is when you draft a player, every player isn't going to be a right now guy. You see potential. It's all about how you bring that player along. How you work with that player. I mean, we see it in football, we see it in basketball, we see it in baseball. If you have a good staff that can really cultivate these players and bring them along in your system, now it's almost like Rubik's Cube. It's blocked. They're ready. They know the system. You plug and play. So the Niners are very good at that.
Well, yeah, it's a reflection on just how well your
organization is.
Yeah, and I hate to use the word that everybody uses, but the culture as well. And
culture, organization, all of that comes into play.
But that has always sort of also annoyed me too, because I think, and this goes for any sport, two things go for any sport. Number one, the system. So you could be a great player with a horrible coach, a dysfunctional organization, a bad training staff, a horrible owner. I mean, just look at teams like the Browns or the Clippers or like all the teams that people say are cursed. It's not necessarily that you're cursed. It's that you're putting yourself behind from the top down.
The organization,
owner,
right,
GM, coaching, all that stuff.
All that had to be on the string.
But it makes it hard to look at Matt Stafford. Lions, another team, never won a Super Bowl. Hell, haven't won a playoff game since whatever. But Matt Stafford was there, put up all the numbers, but he got a lot of flag. 1 year in LA, and they win the Super Bowl. So how much different would his career have been had he had competent organization backing him up?
All of that comes into play.
And basketball too, though. You could have a guy where if there was somebody like Dennis Rodman, his career could have went off the rails, but he had Phil Jackson who reined him in, and Chuck Daly before that.
And let me tell you this, and I love this organization, and it's been tried and true. San Antonio Spurs.
Exactly.
It's Popovich's way.
Mm-hmm.
And how successful has they been Popovich's way? Popovich ain't drafted the best players. I'm saying Tim Duncan, okay, the best player. But he's drafted some players, and they've cultivated those players, and they have been Spur caliber players. He gets them in that system. You're going to play that system.
Yeah.
You're not going to go off and do your own thing in a Popovich system. And it has worked. It's been tried and true, and the dynasty has always been there.
And you know what the best part of that is? I mean, Tim Duncan probably would have been great anywhere.
Anywhere.
I think Ginobili would have been solid anywhere.
He would have been good anywhere.
Tony Parker would have been good anywhere. But I guarantee you all of them would admit that they were better because of Pop in that system. 100%.
Exactly. I mean, look at Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah,
Kawhi Leonard wouldn't be who he is right now if he didn't come
if he didn't have that fundamental part to start. Yeah, I know, and that's why it makes it so hard to judge guys, because you never know. My friends hate it because I bring it up all the time, specifically in games where I'm like, for instance, last night, had he not fumbled out of the end zone, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Right.
My friends hate when I do that, but you can do that with players, and how much different woulda, coulda, shoulda their careers would have been had they been brought into a different organization. Because to me, and I'm not trying to get political or anything, but like culture or nature versus nurture, how much that affects who the person ends up being.
Bro, in life,
but also in sports, like who knows how much different people's career. Joe Montana with Bill Walsh. If he had gone to the Browns, would we be talking about him as the GOAT? Who knows?
We talk about, like I say, in life.
Yeah.
They say it all the time.
Yep.
They keep it all the time. You know what? If he had a family structure, what type of guy he would have been?
Yeah.
It's just structure, man, helps you along the way. I'm not saying it's going to make you exactly who you are and then, change everything about that. But if you have a good structure, a good foundation, especially in an organization, if everybody's on the same line, everybody's on the same string, the same accord, you're going to have a good organization.
Yeah. And by the way, all of this is not a knock on Purdy. So we'll get into a little bit more of that. And then also, speaking of culture changes, look how much different the culture changed with your Sacramento Kings last year. And a comparison that I have to Steph Curry. You're going to be interested to hear that. That's coming up next. You're listening to Zakariah, Henry the High Flyer, right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916, Sactown Sports.
Hey, I love your outfit.
It's Stitch Fix. I'd like to thank my stylist for making me look amazing. She sends looks that work for me and my budget. She gets my fit just right. She turns me on to styles I never would have found on my own. Because of her, because of Stitch Fix, I have time to take care of everything else. They just make everything so easy. So thank you, Stitch Fix. My stylist just gets me, and they'll get you too. Stitch Fix. Take your style quiz today at stitchfix.com.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Yes, indeed. Sactown Sports 1140. I am Zakariah. He's the one, the only. Henry the High Flyer. Coming up at 11:30. We touched a lot yesterday, Hank, on Adam Silver and the whole load management and resting and the $1 million fines that could be coming down the pipeline. And
yes, sir.
And the whole guest list. I kind of looked at it as like a guest list at the club. You know, you go to the club and you lie. You know, I go up there. Zakariah's not on there. What?
No.
Oh, for real? Is Hank here? No, Hank ain't here. He doesn't work there. Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, I'll go back in line.
Yep.
Anyways, they made a guest list for all the players that are deemed superstars.
And when you do throw them, the high flyer on that list. Hey man, go get him. Tell him his boy outside.
Yeah. And then sneak in. But anyways, we touched a lot on that. But coming up at the bottom of the hour, the one part that we didn't get to, and Kyle did a great job cutting it all up because I went back and listened to the whole thing, and he pretty much covered all of it. But the one part that we didn't get to was Adam Silver talking about guys basically demanding trades and how that's become a fiasco over the past few years, and how that kind of rings. It's still happening now. You see it with James Harden, who I don't know if you saw him. He went to China and he said that. It's a liar, and he'll never be a part of his organization. Yeah, I know. Best part was that he said it twice. Yeah, as if once wasn't enough. And then also, obviously, the whole Dame fiasco, which still hasn't figured itself out. So we'll get to that at the bottom of the hour.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Who started all that? Way back in the day.
Interesting.
Demanding.
My first thought is football.
Demanding trade.
No, I'm talking about John Elway did it.
I'm talking about in the NBA, because it's one guy in particular that started all of that, and it starts snowballing from then.
Okay. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
No.
I'm going to take it. Yeah, I'm going to go to that era, though, because I know he's a known diva. Now, I can't tell you when he did it, but I'm going to guess Wilt Chamberlain.
Nope.
No.
I mean,
is he like, I definitely know who he is?
Yes.
Okay. And is it that era?
No, earlier.
Oh.
I mean, later.
Later. Oh, Steven Jackson?
Steven Franchise.
Oh, Stevie Francis.
Yes.
Steven Jackson did it too.
Steve Francis
to the
did
Warriors.
It.
He signed a fat deal with the Warriors and then demanded a trade.
You remember Steven Francis?
Oh, I remember.
Got drafted.
I saw him courtside.
I'm not going there. I refuse to play for that team.
Who?
And they traded him to Houston.
I think it was Vancouver.
Yeah, it's Canada. He said straight out, I'm not going there.
Wow.
I refuse to play there. And they traded him to Houston.
What'd they get back?
After that, I don't know who they got. But I'm saying, but after that, when they let Steven do that, that's when players start saying, I'm a demand a trade and I want to go here. They started that and it started snowballing.
Funny side note, because I love funny side notes. I've only sat courtside once. My buddy Matty Lou, if he's listening, he's the one that hooked up the tickets. And we sat courtside for a Rockets-Warriors game. This was back when you could actually go see a Warriors game without selling your house.
Right.
And we sat courtside, and it was Steve Francis, Cuttino Mobley, and Yao Ming. The first joke we made was how obvious it must have been whose socks were Yao Ming's. Because not only was his leg this big and his foot this big, but he wore knee-high socks.
And I mean, and the dude was thick.
Yes, he was. He was not a skinny.
It wasn't like he was skinny.
No Sean Bradley thing here.
It was thick.
100%. And then the other part was, I've been around. I played basketball my whole life. I've been around a lot of smack talking. I will go to war against anybody that tells me that they can find a duo that talks more smack than Cuttino Mobley and Stevie Francis. Every single other word was an explicitive.
I got the duo.
Who you got? Better than that?
Yes.
It better involve Gary Payton. But
and Sean Kemp.
Oh, Sean Kemp did it too?
Oh, yes. Oh, no doubt. GP and Sean Kemp. GP and Sean Kemp went.
Kemp talked like that?
Hard, yes.
Well, I remember when he pointed over the dude when he dunked on the dude.
Because G started to talk, and Sean Kemp finished.
GP talks all day long.
Well, you know, Gary.
Okay, another quick side note. Maybe we're going to have to do the Fox
I've also got
later.
the Steve Francis trade whenever you want it.
Okay. I was interning at a radio station, and GP was coming in to do a show.
Uh-huh.
And now I'm a dominologist. I've been playing dominoes.
Now, see, that's all we did back in the day.
Okay, so
that's all we did.
Okay, so I love dominoes, and I consider myself. So he comes in, and I'm running my mouth, and of course he's running his mouth.
Of course.
So he goes, "Go buy some dominoes," and I'm like, "For real?" And so the program director's like, he's like, "Go get some dominoes." So I went and got some dominoes. Play the first game, I barely win. Play the second game, he beats me by 3 houses, smokes me.
Right.
Third game. Keep in mind, there's $50 on the line, and I'm not getting paid. I'm an intern. Okay, I ain't got no money, and GP's lifelong earnings. So it comes down. I'm up. I need 10 or 15 to win. He needs a house and a half. It gets down to me only needing 5. He still needs a house, and he wins the game. and he's like talking the whole time,
trash.
like he knew he was going to win. He got so lucky. Anyways, then he goes, cash me out.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
Hey,
I had to go to the ATM. I didn't have no damn money, Hank.
And then all the sayings that come with it. Fish and bread keeps your poor man fed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 6'6". Yeah, he had things for everything. Collard greens and beans, give me 15s.
Oh, yeah,
man.
all that.
All that good stuff.
That's all we did back in the day. We shot hoop, and then we came back home to Papa Payton house, and we played domino throw.
Dominoes in space. See,
that
but
was our thing.
I'm more of a teammate guy. I go 2-on-2, not 1-on-1, because I feel like there's more strategy with 2-on-2.
Yeah, but we were straight domino, man, because you got to be able to hold your own one-on-one.
Spades, too, is awesome.
Yeah.
I love me some spades. But, yeah, GP can talk. But, no, Catino Mobley and Stevie Franchise, I'm telling you, every other word was something I could not say on radio.
Oh, I can imagine.
And I was right there, and I could hear all of it.
You know what? It was so many guys, man, that trash talk back in the day that a lot of people didn't think they did. Reggie Miller trash talk big time.
But, like, clean, right?
Yeah.
He didn't swear.
I don't know, but
it was like square trash talk.
You know who had the best square trash talk?
Huh.
And he talked trash big time and could back it up.
Who?
Larry Bird.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Larry Legend, man.
Have you been watching Winning Time?
Yes.
Because he's known for he would point to a spot. He would tell the guys that were defending him, even when he was double teamed, I'm going to shoot it from there and I'm going to bust it.
You know what? I'm going to give you a Larry Bird story real quick.
All right.
We're playing the Boston Celtics.
Okay.
Now, Larry Bird's from French Lick.
Okay.
Right?
Of course. Famously, Indiana.
Jerry Reynolds from French Lick.
Okay.
All right. They know each other.
Okay.
So we're playing. Jerry puts me in the game. I have to guard Larry. So Larry is looking at Jerry. They're talking on the sideline. And I'm standing right there.
Yeah.
Larry turns to Jerry and says, "Hey, Jerry, y'all must be getting real desperate. You got this kid here guarding me."
Said it so you could hear it too.
And I'm looking at him like,
not even saying it to you.
I'm like,
saying it to somebody else.
I'm like, you do know I'm standing right here.
I love it. He's like, yeah, I know.
Made no difference.
Yeah, but his other famous story is the 3-point contest, All-Star Weekend. He walked in the locker room and he said, "Okay, so who's playing for second place?"
That's it.
And then went out and won.
Bro.
Yeah.
I mean, he talked trash.
Yeah.
Big time.
And I don't know how much of that, because I know it's not like a documentary. It's not completely based on a true story. But as part of that, they say like he got into Indiana, dropped out, and then he got punked, or he got like they told him you can't play to the Indiana State. The Indiana State coach said that to him. Mm-hmm. Then he went and tried outs, did it in jeans, and busted boots. The whole team.
And boots.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Larry, I mean, that's why his nickname is Larry Legend.
Hey, man.
As much on the court as off the court.
Hey, that dude game was so legendary, man. I mean, just the way he set you up and the way he's seen the game.
For sure.
You know, I mean, he was a master at it.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Coming up next, I promise, I didn't mean to keep you waiting this long. A tease is not supposed to last this long, but we got into it. And once you start talking Gary Payton and Larry Bird, you can't hold it against us.
Hey, let's do the game, baby.
But I will give you that Curry-Fox comparison. We'll also get into Adam Silver talking about guys holding out for trades. They're already trying to change the load management. Are they also going to be able to change guys holding out? We'll talk about that next. You're listening to Zakariah and the High Flyer, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm. I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA 3 Weather Center, and after a comfortable start this morning, temperatures will be warming up. We are looking at plenty of sunshine with daytime highs ranging in the mid to low 90s and winds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get the latest forecasts on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Attention, all tool shoppers. Get ready for the biggest DeWalt sale event of the year at Fasteners Inc. Sacramento on Saturday, September 23rd. We're bringing you the best deals on DeWalt products you've ever seen for one day only, including impact drivers for $59, combo kits for as low as $179, and up to $2,000 off your order with instant cashback rewards. Again, that's Saturday, September 23rd only. Come on down and get better tools for better prices at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Find us at 6701 Power Inn Road and learn more at fastenersinc.net.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain. As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
This is Dr. Pamela Maida, a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
Children especially benefit from arch supports as a sturdy and supportive foundation for their developing feet. If your kids have pain, then I recommend Youth Arch Supports from the Good Feet store.
Youth Arch Supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain in the feet, knees, hip, or back. If your child is physically active with sports, clubs, or even on the playground, they may benefit from the comfort and support found in Good Feet Youth Arch Supports.
I firmly believe that investing in Youth Arch Supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make to support their feet.
See how Youth Arch Supports can help with a free arch support fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Summertime and Rivercats baseball are the perfect pairing. The only thing missing is you. With weekly promotions, premium giveaway games, and unique theme nights, there's fun for everyone at Sutter Health Park. Stick around postgame every Friday and Saturday night as we light up the sky with the brightest fireworks in town. Visit rivercats.com to purchase tickets.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a lowball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at revivemenshealth.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The San Francisco 49ers have a Week 2 duel in Southern California against the Los Angeles Rams. Coverage of the game begins at 12 o'clock noon on Sunday right here on Sactown Sports 1140 and the Sactown Sports app. There's 15 games left in the season for the San Francisco Giants out in baseball. Going into the weekend, the Giants are tied with the Diamondbacks and Reds for the 6th and final NL wildcard spot, with the Miami Marlins a half game behind the group of 3. The Giants have 4 games over the next 3 days against the Colorado Rockies. Reminder, come on out to the Marysville Stampede this weekend, Saturday, September 16th and Sunday, September 17th at the Cotton Rosser Arena. Get your tickets at marysvillestampede.com. And reminder that all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now it's time for your Fortinet Championship Update live from Silverado Resort in Napa Valley. This update is, of course, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. We have a new leader right now, Sahith Tigata, is now 10 under for the day. He is on the 14th hole. He is the lone leader with Lucas Herbert at 9 under behind him. He's yet to tee off today. And the American Eric Cole has jumped into third place at 8 under. Now let's return to the show.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Having too much fun here on a Friday. It's feeling like a Friday. We're doing a Friday show, Henry.
You know what? I'm enjoying myself, man.
Yeah, dude. Me and you, man.
It's kind of throwing me off because it's still in the AM, and
yeah, it feels like we're at the bar, doesn't it?
You know, because usually when I'm on air, I'm on around 5 o'clock, 5:30.
Yeah.
So, everything is going in the evening time.
Yeah, you're off at 2, and it's like, what
I'm looking at 11:30. I'm like, man, it's still breakfast time.
Yeah. Well, sometime, man, when we both have time, we got to get together and exchange more stories because that was a ton of fun. But
oh, bro, I got tons of them. Man.
I know you do.
Tons of them.
I know you do. We might actually end up doing a little get to know or story time with Hank maybe
I'm with that.
At 12:45 because I got some questions for you.
I'm with that.
All that ball that you played. Welcome back in Sactown Sports, 11:40 a.m. I am Zakariah. He is Henry the High Flyer. Join the show, won't you? 916-339-1140. We're on YouTube. You can check us out there. Basically, search anywhere and everywhere for Sactown Sports. You'll end up finding us. But I teased that whole thing between Fox and Curry, so let's do that before we get to Adam Silver, and then maybe we can expand on it later.
Yep.
But I found this to be very interesting. First playoff appearance, 11th in MVP voting, lost to a 4-time champion in the Western playoffs, and both 25 years old. Steph Curry, and De'Aaron Fox.
Wow.
Now, people find ways to put stuff together, but age is a palpable thing.
Yes.
First playoff appearance is a palpable thing.
Right.
11th in MVP voting is a little bit obscure, but still 11th in MVP voting and lost to a 4-time. It's not like, I guess the biggest thing that stood out other than age and first time, because I didn't think that Steph was that old before he met. I know they had some down years. Believe me.
Right.
I remember when Klay Thompson and Steph Curry were on the BART train in the Bay Area handing out free tickets to Warriors games. I swear to God, it's a true story.
Wow.
But I didn't think that Steph was 25 the first time he made it. Now, I know he stayed at Davidson a little bit longer, so maybe he was older when he got in the league. But I was pretty surprised to know that he was 25.
Okay.
But the age thing stuck out, and then the second one that kind of stood out to me was the age, 25, and that being their first playoff appearance. And also the biggest thing was that Fox didn't lose to a crummy team.
No, he didn't. No.
And, they both lost to 4-time champions in their first playoff appearance. So that kind of stood out to me.
I think that's probably, one of the big takeaways from that playoff series with Golden State. Because if you look at it, and probably if you're a Warrior fan, you'd have been like, yeah, we're playing the Sacramento Kings. They haven't been in the playoffs for the last 16 years. We're going to go in there and we're going to stomp them. That didn't happen.
You think they thought that was going to be a quick series?
Yeah.
You do?
I think a lot of the Golden State Warrior fans thought that, okay, we got our boys back, Wiggs back, we got our starting 5, we're about to roll.
Interesting.
Wasn't that?
Yeah,
wasn't that?
A couple weeks ago, I played a clip from Klay Thompson on a podcast, and he was giving credit to the Kings, but the way in which he was delivering it, you can always tell by the way somebody did.
Right.
He was saying it as if he was surprised, so you might be onto something there.
They thought they were going to just steamroll the Sacramento Kings, and that wasn't the case. I'm going to tell you what, that third game, I was there. Like I said, we there in Chase Center. That third game, that arena was quiet for a minute.
Yep.
Because they were scared at that point.
And the series is over if they win that game, Hank.
Kings won first too. They were scared. They were like, oh my God.
Yep.
And every time the Kings had to come back, that arena, dude, they were with their teams. But I'm telling you, when you watch the overall game and the ebbs and flows, those fans were like, oh my God, I can't believe this happening. This Sacramento Kings team, they are for real. They made a whole lot of believers out of those Bay Area fans. And, and being a Golden State Warrior fan, you get that entitlement. Those guys have won 4 rings. Yes, dynasty for that team. Yes, they have all of that. So you get that little entitlement that our team is going to always win. I'm going to tell you what, the Kings put a serious dent in that entitlement because it was like, whoa, they took us to 7.
I'm just rereading my notes because I rewatched that. Like I said, when I started filling in back here, I wanted to be fresh on what happened in that series. So I have a bunch of notes where I took a bunch of notes, and then I just kind of have a summary. My game 3 is Draymond suspended. GP2 was sick.
Right.
And they had no chance. And then Anderson said Chase was every bit as loud as Sack. I'm not really buying that. Roracle used to be. Was it?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think. It was the national broadcast.
I mean, it was a good environment, yes.
Yeah, and then I have way too many O boards. That was the O board game, or one of 2 O board games. And then they couldn't hit a 3, and it was a horrible Monk game because Monk had played great in games 1 and 2.
Right.
4 was the one where they could have gone up 3-1 and won that series.
And they were shaking in their boots.
So they started Poole, not Dre.
Right.
Even though Dre was back from the suspension. And the made threes versus attempted threes, I thought Fox was very aggressive. Down 9 with 9 to go, then a 9-1. They went up 9 with 2 to go. I was talking about how Murray developed a pull-up game. They went to a box and 1. So many back-breaking threes at the end of quarters, and that was on offensive rebounds. I remember that being a huge thing. And
second and third attempts for threes.
And then to your point about the experience, I have a note here. Some young, immature plays in crunch time still had a shot in the end. That's when Barnes missed the 3 that would have won it. Well contested by Steph. It was actually a good miss. I don't know if you got taught that in all your years in hoop, but I always tell my nephews and my nieces, shoot for the back rim. So when you miss back rim, that's a good shot because that's what you're aiming for. And that was Barnes's 3, and then Wiggins missed also. And then and that was that. And then you had and then it was anybody's series.
I mean, but let me tell you, they gained big time respect.
Oh, 100%.
Big time respect.
Yeah.
Clay, Draymond, all those guys, they had the chip on their shoulder, which rightfully so.
Yep.
Because, like I said, they got a dynasty going over there. But when they looked at the Sacramento Kings, they were like, these guys ain't no pushover.
No.
They're just not going to come in here and lay down. And matter of fact, if we don't bring our A game, if Steph didn't come Herculean, it's over.
Hank,
it's over.
Set the record for most points in a game 7.
It's over.
Yeah. And where they earned it was running them out of the building in game 6. I think if the Warriors had won that game handedly in game 6, I don't think the Warriors walk away with a ton of respect. The fact that they went to Oracle down 3-2 and forced the game 7, that's when they got, and that's probably when they woke up, and that's when Steph went into Steph mode.
Like I said, got big time respect. So, when you look at the overall totality of that playoff run, the Kings got nothing but kudos. It was no shame to lose a game 7 against a dynasty championship team.
Totally agree.
It's nothing you can say about that team and say, well, they came up short. No, they played their butts off.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's why I think I get the reasons. I guess I was okay with Monty laying them out, but it was kind of weird to hear him, like the GM of your team, saying that here's the reasons why we're going to take a step back next year. But I do understand it. So there is a list of reasons that you and I went over yesterday in terms of why they might take a step back, health, the conference getting better. But I do think that there's a lot of reasons that you can point to of why they could be right around that 3 seed and possibly improve. We talked about if Fox could take even another jump. We talked about if Murray can go from solid rookie to like star. We talked about the improvements that they made at the roster, but just looking at their depth chart, to me, they're so much deeper. I think there's going to be such less of a fall off from when they bring the bench guys in. You got Fox and Mitchell, you got Herter, Monk, and Jones, you got Barnes, Duarte, and Edwards, Murray, Lyles, and Sasha. You got Sabonis, Len, and McGee. And then on 2-way contract, you got Ellis, Swanson, and Ford. And we'll talk about the defense later. But I do think there's as many reasons of why you should be optimistic that there is that you should think that they're going to take a step back.
Number one, if you was a Kings fan, the Sacramento Kings fans was kind of like, uneasy because they didn't make a big splash before, trade deadline.
Yeah.
They didn't need to.
Yeah.
They didn't need to.
Yeah.
So now
I fought with Rami about that. So I was fine with them running it back.
Hey, they didn't need to make no big splash.
Yeah.
You know, that basketball team is good enough to where they did exactly what they needed to do. Like right now, you have to look and say, okay, where was the biggest hole in the Sacramento Kings team? It was protecting the rim
and rebounding
and grabbing rebound.
Offensive rebound. Nothing makes me more irritated than offensive rebounding.
Yeah. And I think they went and they addressed that.
Yeah.
They figured out almost at the end, Alex Lynn is serviceable. He is serviceable.
For sure.
Because he's a 7-footer.
He was solid in the playoffs.
True 7-footer that he's going to be able to protect the rim and block some shots at the least.
All right.
That's what you need. Same thing with JaVale McGee.
We got to go. So I'm gonna take what I have to say because I have a rebounding drill that I want to talk to you about. I want to know if you did it when you were playing basketball. And then also the fact that they didn't do anything is horse manure as far as I'm concerned. They did do stuff. They just didn't make the flashy move that Kings fans wanted. Yeah. But doesn't mean that they didn't improve their team.
No, they did.
So we'll get to that later in the show. We still got 2 hours and 15 minutes. But coming up next, we'll have fun in the 40s. More stories around the world of sports. And Dion, it's personal.
Prime time.
2 words. It's personal. You're listening to Zakariah, Henry the High Flyer, right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Dawn or dusk, I'm on the hunt. Skeeter here, Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District, and I'm wearing Skeeter Vision, night vision goggles that light up skeeters at dawn or dusk like the 4th of July. Mosquito, 12 o'clock. Got him. So fight the bite by wearing long sleeves and pants at dawn or dusk when they're most active. Apply insect repellent and drain stagnant water. It's a breeding ground.
Dawn or dusk, the Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District reminds you to fight the bite. For more information or to report problems, go to fightthebite.net.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
Hold up, you're using Swiffer Power Mop? What would Mom say?
Oh, she'd be like, a mop and bucket is the only way to deep clean your floors. And I'd be like, Mom, this is the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one that gets you a mop and bucket clean in half the time.
She'd never believe you.
I'd say, look, the solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket. And the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get into grout lines. That's why you're the smart one.
Really?
What? Mom said it.
The new Swiffer Power Mop. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
I'm Ty Burrell, actor and small business owner. I'm going to show you my steps for making the perfect radio ad. This one's about innovation refunds and the ERC. First step, be relatable. I like pizza and puppies. 2, cold hard info. The ERC is a tax credit for eligible businesses that kept employees on payroll in 2020 and 2021. So if you qualify, Innovation Refunds Network of Independent Tax Attorneys could help you claim it. 3, go to innovationrefunds.com or call 1-843-REFUNDS.
Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. We work with an independent network of tax professionals. Terms and conditions apply. Ty is a paid spokesman.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Whether you're shopping for your favorite Honda online or in person, you'll see why Stockton Honda is the #1 Honda dealer in Northern California and why buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Visit in person or online at StocktonHonda.com, where your favorite Honda is ready for you.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Welcome on back. Happy Friday. It is Sactown Sports 1140 on your airwaves. Hope you're getting ready for the weekend. Man, I've had so many weekends with plans. Oh, I should say our names and stuff. I'm Zakariah. He's Henry the High Flyer. You can join the show. Call or text 916-339-1140. We'll get to fun in the 40s in a minute. But, man, I've had so many things on the weekends. I'm getting old, Hank. I'm getting old. I've had so many things. Kids' birthdays, humans' or not the kids aren't humans. Grown-ups' birthdays, kids' birthdays. All the
dog
old
birthdays.
Whose birthday? No, I ain't doing no dog birthdays. I've had dogs my whole life. I've never once celebrated their birthday or even knew what their birthday was. How are you gonna know what their birthday is? Anyways, I'm happy to have a plan-free weekend.
That's nice, though.
Yeah. When I get back to Berkeley, I'm putting my feet up.
Let me tell you, that's some of the best time.
Best plans or no plans
ever when you have nothing to do.
Yep.
It's like you sit there, you kick your feet up, you get yourself a little drink.
Absolutely.
You watch a little TV, be like, hey, what's Zach? What you got to do?
Mm-hmm. Nada.
Nothing.
All right, top of the hour, we'll do some Niners talk, but then we'll also, since we've been pushing everything back, we'll get to the Adam Silver talking about players basically holding out or demanding a trade, whatever you want to call it. And we found out the origins of that. I remember when Stack Jack did it to the Warriors, and he did it deliberately because he signed the deal because they had some rules in place where if you signed with your own team, you got more money.
Right.
So he signed the deal with the Warriors and then immediately demanded a trade. But you let us all know that Stevie Franchise was the guy that did that first.
Stevie Franchise started it. Said,
so he never played a minute for the Grizzlies.
Never played a minute. Said, I'm not going.
And our fine producer has the trade.
Yeah, so it was a 3-team, 11-player trade, and Vancouver.
It was big.
Vancouver ended up getting back Anton Carr, Michael Dickerson, Othello Harrington, Brett Price, a first-round pick that became Marcus Banks, and then a second-round pick, not of note, that became our good friend Matt Barnes.
Interesting. Still, all of that combined, no Stevie Franchise.
I'm not going.
Yeah.
You know what? And when he did it,
he
didn't even put the hat on. He did not even put the hat on. He held it.
Yeah.
And then
that'll tell you right there.
And then went in the bag and said, I'm not going.
Yeah.
And it was so just appalling for me, man, because I remember my first day knowing that I was going to be in the NBA. I didn't care.
You would have played for anybody.
Bro,
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't care what hat they gave me. Long as I was in the NBA, I was elated. And I'm looking at this young cat coming in as a rookie saying, no.
Yeah.
I was just blown away.
A lot of guys, yeah. I brought up what I thought was the original was John Elway refusing to play for the Baltimore Colts, I forget, or the Atlanta Falcons, I forget. But he wouldn't. And then Eli Manning did it. He was going to get drafted by the Chargers, and his parents basically said no, he's not. And then he worked his way to the New York Giants. So it happens up and down. And yeah, it's crazy. You would think guys would just be so honored and humbled and happy to play anywhere. But I guess when you're that high of a pick,
but have the entitlement of no, I'm not going.
I'm not going. Yeah, I know. Well, you could always call their bluff and make them sit out. But
right.
All right. So let's have some fun in the 40s now. Joe Burrow, just a horrendous game on Sunday. It was one of those ones where it looked like the obvious choice to predict that the Bengals were going to blow out the Browns. We know how talented Deshaun Watson is, but he had a horrible year last year.
Yeah.
Obviously dealing with the suspension, couldn't be in the building, but when he did play, and if you're that good, it looked like he had just completely fallen off. And he didn't necessarily have a great game, but I looked at that, and then you go Joe Burrow, Joe Cool, Mr. National title game with LSU, took the Bengals to the Super Bowl, and it's like first or second healthy season, and it was basically a pick 'em, and I'm like, this is a no-brainer. Which tells you anytime you see a no-brainer, go the other way.
Go the other way.
And it was a disastrous game. Now, granted, the conditions were horrible. It was sloppy. It was wet. It was muddy. That has a lot to do with
football.
But he just looked off. He had that calf strain earlier in training camp. So I don't know how much that factored in, but it was a horrendous game. And they lost, and it was never close, and they ended up pulling him later in the game. But here he is in his press conference. He had a new look for the people, Hank.
You're looking at it. I don't even know what to tell people. They just make it happen.
How do you know it's time to get a haircut?
When you have a game like that on Sunday.
So the reporter said, for the kids out there, when they go to the barbershop and they ask for the Joe Burrow, what do you tell them or whatever? He's like, I don't know. You're looking at it like he probably doesn't put a lot of thought into his haircut. But then they go, so when do you know when it's time to get a haircut? And he goes, when you have a game like that on Sunday. I expect them to bounce back if that calf is okay. I don't expect him to look like that.
You know what? A lot of players, man, and I'm not going to just say just football players, but just players in general, when you come out and you have a stinker, I mean, you really stink it up, and you're like, you know what? I got to shake this bad juice.
Superstition.
You
switch something up.
Like Harrison Barnes, for example, let his beard grow. Just let it grow. Let it grow. I mean, he looked like a mountain man.
Because he was playing well?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, when something drastic happens, you know what? Let me clean this back up, get to where I need to be, because I need to make a change.
Yeah.
It
sounds silly.
It's kind of a superstitious thing, but you know what?
But it also makes sense. You need to get out of the rut.
Right.
However you can do it. Obviously, it has nothing to do with the beard, but you feel different.
Whether it's a haircut, beard, you know what? You change your socks, you change your shoes. It's just things that professional athletes do.
And then briefly we talked about how crazy Philly fans are throwing snowballs at Santa and all that good stuff. Well, here's a Philly fan before last night's game.
Just to put this T-shirt on, the Kelly Green, Reggie White T-shirt, I had like chills this morning. I'm thinking about the game. I'm thinking about how the defense is going to play. Are we going to run the ball? Is Jalen Hurts going to play better than he did last week? Because he didn't have a Jalen Hurts game. I mean, everybody knows that. So they got to clean up their mistakes. We have a lot of injuries tonight. But DeAndre Swift, I think he's really going to step up for the Birds.
Predicted it.
6-point win.
You're calling it.
My prediction.
All right,
Called it again.
So how are you going to last this whole time? You got a long way to go here.
Well, listen.
It's 4:30 in the morning.
This is what I do. I'm usually the first one down here. You do. You go to sleep early. I went to bed early last night. You get up, and you know what you got. Like, my tickets are in the end zone. I'm in section 128. I'm right there, 20 rows from the field. Why wouldn't you want to be down here for a game like this? Come on. This is prime time. The whole world gets to see the Eagles play.
Hey, that's the main reason Adam Silver is doing the load management right there. For fans like that.
Yeah.
That's the number one reason.
4:30 in the morning. That game in Philly starts at 8:30. He got there at 4:30 in the morning. But how about the prediction? He said 6-point win, and he predicted that Swift was going to go off.
Hey, we need to
Pretty incredible.
We need to take that dude to Vegas.
Yeah,
hey, somebody get that cat's information.
For real.
But I'm saying, it's for fans
that.
that.
And what's fan short for? Fanatic. That's at 4:30 in the morning for an 8:30 game. That's crazy. All right, coming up, getting you into your PM hour. We will touch a little bit Niners, Rams this weekend. Also, we'll get into the commissioner, Adam Silver. He spoke about guys holding out for trades. We'll do that next. You're listening to Zakariah and the High Flyer right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
The 49ers head to L.A. to take on their longtime rival, the Rams.
Touchdown! Pre-game starts at noon with the kickoff at 1:05.
On Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Have you ever heard that phrase, less is more? Well, at Harbor Freight, we're all about more for less, because we know you like to do stuff, to make stuff, to improve stuff. That's why everything in our stores, from miter saws to tool chests to cordless impact wrenches, is priced affordably. So get out there and drill, paint, and saw to your heart's content. We just ask that whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
I love being a bartender. I love waiting tables. But at the end of my shift, my feet were killing me. And so I had to pretend like I was having a good time. And really, I couldn't wait to sit down. But it wasn't just my feet. It was also my knees were achy. A lot of neck pain, too. I was in so much pain. I kind of lost hope, really. And then I saw the Good Feet store, and that's when everything changed.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Kristen enjoy their work again without their feet getting in the way.
It was pretty shocking to realize that I'd been in so much pain, and suddenly I'm completely pain-free. Now that I have the Good Feet arch supports, I don't have to pretend to be happy. I'm genuinely happy. So, cheers. My name is Kristen, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, afternoon. I guess it's technically noon. Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. San Francisco 49ers have a Week 2 duel in Southern California against the Los Angeles Rams. Coverage of the game begins at 12 o'clock noon on Sunday right here on Sactown Sports 1140 and the Sactown Sports app. Reminder to come on out to the Marysville Stampede this weekend, September 16th and 17th at the Cotton Rosser Arena. You can get your tickets at MarysvilleStampede.com. And reminder that all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda is, of course, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. Now it's time for your Fortinet Championship update live from Silverado Resort in Napa Valley. This update is, of course, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Sahith Tigala is going off today. He is 7 under through 17 in first place at 11 under for the tournament. Lucas Herbert finds himself in second at 9 under. He's yet to tee off today. And in third place, we have Eric Cole currently sitting at 8 under through 13. Those are your headlines. Let's return to the show.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Yes, indeedy. Welcome in, Sacramento, to your PM portion of your day. It is Sactown Sports 1140 alongside Henry the High Flyer. I am Zakariah, taking your phone calls and your text messages. 916-339-1140. And you can also hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Zach Sports, ZAK Sports. He is at Hank the High Flyer on Twitter. Tweet at us, get at us, mention us.
Tap in, all that.
Yeah, just don't, I'm still not switching it up and saying X.
Not yet.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you're like scrolling through your phone and your buddy's like, what you doing? You're like, I'm on X.
I'm on X.
You could take that the wrong way. Or I sent out an X.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with tweet. Elon Musk, man. Sometimes you get in over your skis, you know what I mean?
I had a hard time with Twitter, though, when it first came out.
Yeah.
I don't tweet. This just sounds like something like a grown man shouldn't do.
I agree, but it sounds normal now.
It caught on, but when it first came out, I'm like, man, grown man don't tweet.
Yeah. I know. See, I'm from like the MySpace days, and then it was Facebook, and then Instagram, and
tweet.
What was the one that was like, it just came out like a month ago or like a couple months ago, and then it totally flamed out? Threads?
Oh, yeah. Threads was like Instagram's version of Twitter.
Yeah. Is that officially donezo?
I mean,
is it still going?
It still exists. I don't think they've added many new threaders in the last couple weeks.
Well, Marcus Thompson, I remember I had him on a couple months ago when it first came out, and he was trying to put me up on it. I wonder if he's abandoned ship, but it was one of those ones that didn't exactly catch on.
Right.
But yeah, coming up at 12:15, some interesting things on your Sacramento Kings on the defensive end.
Okay.
Talked a lot about the offense, obviously, historically, one of the best ever last year.
Right.
Defense ranked 24th. But more reasons for optimism. Remember, I was talking earlier, there's a lot of people pointing out reasons why they might take a step back.
Uh-huh.
And I said, I think there's just as many reasons of why they could at least stay
better.
where they're at or get better.
Right.
And this is one of them. So we'll do that at 12:15. But right now, before we get into Adam Silver, let's talk about this Sunday. It's Football Friday, Hank, and it'll be Niners Rams down there, and we've talked about the jerseys. If you're just tuning in, you know the average listener only listens for like 8 minutes or something. So technically, it's supposed to be like Finding Nemo. Remember Dora, the fish, where her memory reset after every like 5 seconds? Dory, sorry. Oh yeah, Dora. It's Dora the Explorer. Sorry, I got nieces and nephews, man. Forgive me. But so technically, we should be doing the same thing every 8 minutes. Yeah, every 8 minutes. But,
okay.
But if you're just tuning in and getting in your car,
the same Gary Payton story each segment.
Exactly. Hey, me and you could fake it like it was the first time. Anyways, so if you're just tuning in, though, we talked about how the Niners are going to be wearing red, how it is going to be Levi's West down there as it has been over the past few years. How I don't think the Rams, when's the last time the Rams beat the Niners, period, outside of the most important game, the NFC Championship game?
I believe it was 7 of 8 for Shanahan against McVay.
Okay. Yeah. And So anyways, they've been dominant over them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think going into the season, we thought this was going to be a very big down year. I don't know if you saw the blurb in the offseason, Henry, where Stafford's wife has a podcast, and she said that Stafford was having a hard time connecting with the young players.
Wow.
Yeah, he made light of it. He showed up to a press conference and he said, I was actually going to wear my readers and bring like a crossword in. He said, but I couldn't find them. I mean, it was all a job. I mean, she shouldn't be sharing details like that on podcasts, but
that's the world we're in right now.
Yeah, but that amongst other things, we talked about how they kind of sold their soul to the devil for that Super Bowl. And so now they're kind of paying the price for it. Mm-hmm. So we thought it was going to be a down year until they went into Seattle, who had an up year last year, made the playoffs, obviously lost to the San Francisco 49ers.
Knocked them off.
Yeah, who we thought was probably going to have a decent year, if not improve on last year, and they knocked them off in Seattle. So maybe the tune has changed a little bit, but I think you and I think that they're both comfortably going to get a victory on Sunday, correct?
I'm not going to say comfortably.
Okay.
Because, you always walking into hostile waters when you go into someone else's field.
And any given Sunday.
And then with all the hype on this game, you threw it out there with the jerseys, all the color, everything else. All of those things are motivation for a team to get guys going, to get them to pull out a little bit extra than what they usually do. So I'm not going to say it's going to be a cakewalk. The Niners are going to have to play good ball down there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and you never want to waltz into a game. We were joking about how Trent Williams said he was rooting for the Steelers to get a first down because he needed I don't know if it'll be that comfortable, but certainly when you don't have to travel across the state and you're playing what I think most people would say is an inferior team. But Stafford is healthy this year, though.
It's a good setup.
Yeah. When I was listening to Papa earlier, he was saying Stafford is back to his Super Bowl form. Last year, he was like, it was a very mysterious injury that I don't think they ever officially diagnosed him with anything, but you knew it was something
that held him up, right?
Trey Aikman spilled the beans on his shoulder injury during a broadcast.
Yeah, it was basically from his neck to the tip of his middle finger. Something was going on all up in there.
Right. He played through it.
Yeah, but they said that this past Sunday he looked like the old Stafford, so it might be closer than what odds makers are laying it out to be. But I saw some interesting things. I mentioned earlier that Pop pointed out that they're 32-2 when they run the ball more than 30 times.
Right.
So expect a lot of that. We talked about how we're all terrified of Aaron Donald, and hopefully Purdy steers clear. Here's some other ones. Since the Niners traded for Christian McCaffrey, in 14 starts with the Niners, 278 touches, 1,447 total yards, 14 total TDs, 0 fumbles lost, and most importantly, Hank, 13-1 record.
That boy's a savage.
Yes.
Oh, man. I mean, he is a gorilla out there. He runs the ball.
He does.
And efficient. Like I said, don't turn the ball over, and you're going to get something good out of him almost every play.
Yeah. And efficient's a good word because the way he runs, it's almost like every step is sort of he doesn't lose anything on his running.
It's not wasted motion.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not wasted motion. Everything is forward.
Yeah. And also, I mean, the 13-1 kind of also coincides with Purdy, obviously, who hasn't lost the start at all since he came aboard. And the NFL in general will tell you, do not pay the running back. I don't know if we're going to get to this at one point during Fun in the 40s, but there's a spoof commercial of LaShawn McCoy, who now works he does like TV broadcasts. He's got his own show on TV. And there's like a spoof commercial where it's like an infomercial saying that running backs are like going through a hardship. And then at the end, he goes, if you can contribute just $10 million. But he's talking about how running backs are like down in the dumps or whatever. So the strategy that everybody says is don't pay the running back. I say yes to that. However, if you have a guy like Christian McCaffrey, the money's well worth it.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I mean, there are still running backs that are not interchangeable, and I would say CMC is one.
Yeah, but that dude, for what he brings to your offense.
Yeah.
You know, because you know he's going to be solid running the ball.
100%.
So, and then you throw out all your receivers, you know, Debo, Aiku, all those guys.
Yep.
That makes your offense just well blended.
Yes.
To where, you know, you're not a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Because number one, your quarterback is one.
Yep.
If you have a solid ground game, that's two. And then you got freaks at receivers. That's what takes you to the Super Bowl.
And you give all of those ingredients to a cook like Kyle Shanahan.
Bro, it takes you to the Super Bowl.
He probably licks his lips every time he is writing up the game plan and different plays and different schemes and motions and
just add rice to that gumbo.
Yeah. Well, and just imagine if Trey Lance could have put that stuff together. Because you asked me yesterday, I believe, you asked me about guys that I think we were talking about Lamar Jackson, and you were asking me, well, what if you added the run game part to it? And I said, well, if you can have both, of course. And I think that's what Shanahan thought he was getting with Trey Lance. I just don't think he ever got the offensive system down the way that Purdy got it. And Purdy, to not put so much on Trey Lance, Purdy got a lot of the first team snaps because they were, you know, you don't play your starter in the preseason. So Purdy was getting a lot of those reps that Trey wasn't, but for whatever reason, they couldn't put it together. But just to throw some more stuff at you, the Niners have started the season 2-0 20 times. They missed the playoffs in 9 of those seasons. They missed it in 09, 07 most recently, and then you got to go all the way back to 1980. So they're 1-0 obviously now, but it's not a huge deal if they don't go 2-0.
I don't buy into much of that. That's the analytics stuff.
Yeah, I know,
because teams
can half the time,
but teams can catch fire.
Yeah, and they also can get off to good starts when they're not really a good team
and struggle,
which is probably a lot of these 50s and 60s years. There's probably a lot more.
A lot of injury play into that.
Yep.
You know, so I really don't get off into over the last 10 years. Never mind. I'm talking about what's happening today. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, coming up next, we will talk about your Sacramento Kings and not the side of the ball that we usually talk about. Let's talk a little defense, Hank, and then I'll ask Hank, did you take don't answer now. Did you take more pride on the offensive end or the defensive end? I'm going to guess because your nickname is the High Flyer that it was the offensive end. We'll all find out together. Coming right back at you. Sactown Sports, 1140, Zakariah and Henry.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Yeah. Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie. I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center, and after a comfortable start this morning, temperatures will be warming up. We are looking at plenty of sunshine with daytime highs ranging in the mid to low 90s and winds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Get the latest forecasts on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let us fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $97. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
ODB, RIP, I believe. I don't even think I could say the lyrics of the chorus, even though it's not technically a swear word. So I'm going to leave it alone. Got to err on the side of caution, Henry. I've learned that. It took me 40 years, 39 years. I've learned that now. Err on the side of caution.
You know what? I learned that very, very early.
Yeah.
Watch what you say, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome on back, Sacramento. It is Sactown Sports 1140. He's Henry the High Flyer. I am Zakariah. You can join the program 916-339-1140, or you can join in on the YouTube chat. Looks like Kyle's been very active over there. I haven't even gotten a chance to catch up, but anytime you see yellow on that screen, Henry, that means that's Kyle. So he's been responding to people.
That's nice, man.
So maybe we'll read from that in a little bit. And yeah, coming up at the bottom of the hour, are you ready for some football?
Yes.
Week 2 preview.
Let's get it in.
As I said, I believe at the top of the hour, or maybe I didn't even get a chance to get to that, but only 10% of the teams since the merger in 1970, only 10% of the teams that start off 0-2 make the playoffs, which I think is a more impressive stat than the one that I said yesterday, which was only 3 teams have won the Super Bowl after starting 0-2. That one is because it's hard to win the Super Bowl, but not making the playoffs, 90% of the teams that start off 0-2 don't make the playoffs.
Wow,
that
crazy.
To me, you can sink your teeth in.
That's crazy.
And there's a lot of good teams that started off 0-1.
Right.
That I think are going to make the playoffs. So we'll see. So we'll get into that. But right now, I want to talk a little defense. First of all, I teased that we were going to ask you. So go ahead, Mr. How many years professional hoop?
15.
15. Now, did you pride yourself? And don't say you took equal pride, because that's like when people say they like their kids equally. It's a lie. Did you take Did you take more pride in offense or defense when you hooped?
Okay, let me tell you the difference. Growing up, of course, it was always offense. It was always offense. You know, I was always the guy that scored the basketball. I was always the guy that was able to, score around the rim. And then when I started dunking the basketball, of course, that was the highlight.
Okay.
But when I became a professional, And once I made it to the NBA, I wasn't a guy that was always looked upon for my offensive prowess out there. I was more so of a defensive-minded guy.
Okay.
So whenever I came into the game, my main goal and my main, focus out there was to lock up the other defensive player, because basically my second tenure here, I played behind Mitch Richmond, Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Mitch was our offense. He was all of our offense. The boy scored the basketball at ease.
Mm-hmm.
My minutes that I replaced him was to wear down the guy that was guarding him. So I would come in and just create havoc on the defensive side. The Kings really wasn't worried about my scoring prowess.
Interesting. So it changed for you over time.
Yeah, it changed for me by team.
Oh, okay. Based on the personnel.
Yeah, by what they needed from you.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So I was a great shooter. I was the epitome of why they say white man can't jump. But I could shoot the hell out of the ball. But I took way more pride in defense. Rebounding specifically, my dad at a young age taught me, because he wasn't skilled at all. He couldn't shoot or do anything. He was like Dennis Rodman.
Mm-hmm.
But he taught me early on to find the angles when you're rebounding, defensively, usually you're boxing out.
Right.
But offensively, seeing where the shot goes up and then anticipating where the ball is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then also,
that's big.
On the defensive end, kids out there, if you're listening, watch the hips. You could do all you want, but watch the hips in terms of defending. And then also, I might not have been buff like you. I didn't have the unregistered guns, Henry, but I had pointy elbows and pointy knees. And
wow.
Please believe I used those.
You know what? My thing on the defensive end, and I was a pretty good defensive player, and it wasn't watching the hips, because my thing was this. I'm going to dictate where you go. I'm not going to give you a choice.
You were one of those guys. You would shade them.
I'm going to give you one side.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to give you the side to where I didn't spend enough time watching your game, understanding that you score more going one way or the other.
Interesting.
And I'm going to send you to that side that you're not most comfortable with.
Yeah, and that's probably because you were a lot quicker than me. See, my problem with giving that up is they can still beat me there, even if it's not their best side.
Yeah, no.
Whereas if I square up, I can see where they're going.
But see, when you give them that one side, you know where you have to go.
Yep, that's true.
So when he takes that step to that, I'm giving you left.
But why don't you think that you see that more often? Because you see guys square up with players more than you see them turn to one side or the other.
That's why they get cooked. That's why they get cooked. Why am I going to give you left and right? Think about it. You was an offensive guy, right?
Yep.
If a dude gave you the choice to go left or right, you're going to get him anyway.
Well, that's why you watch the hips.
It only takes one step to get your shot off.
Yeah.
And if I give you a step to the right and a step to the left, you're going to get that shot off.
Yeah. Also depends on what kind of defense you're playing what kind of offense they're running.
But if I just give you, I'm saying, just head up, just one-on-one.
Yeah.
When you get the ball, I'm in front of you.
Because they can decide which way they're going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you decide nothing. I'm going to point you in a direction I know you're going to go, and I can anticipate, and now I can get up on that shot and defend it.
Well, I don't know how much the listeners want us to get into the weeds, because I would maybe we'll counter in the commercial break. But I would say when you're giving them that, there's a reason why a word in there is give. I don't want to give up either, which is why, anyways, whatever. We'll talk about that. We'll talk the technical stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that appreciate it, but I don't want to get too much in the weeds.
I bet you got crossed up a lot, didn't you? That right left. If you give me a choice,
yes. No, because I played a lot of 3 and 4. I didn't guard a lot of 2s.
If you gave me a choice, you cooked.
I guess.
It's over.
I was a good defender.
It's over.
Anyways, let's bring this into the Kings. I'm sure it would have been over you versus me. That's not even fair. I didn't play professionally. The Kings, though, they ranked 24th in the league last year.
Right.
And I'm not a math major, but 24 out of 30.
It's not good.
It's not good. Now, they were fantastic on offense.
The best.
I was reading up on their defense. Number one, they were really good on the road. Defensively, they were like 9th on the road defensively,
well. Played well on the road, and you wonder why.
I do too,
because it's the exact same team at home.
Exactly. Well, maybe maybe they were just so good on offense. I don't know. Anyways, I was like, obviously, if they can they didn't lose any huge pieces. So the offense, if anything, bringing Sasha in,
they lost nothing.
I have a great stat, but he's got like Klay Thompson numbers in terms of amount of dribbles per made field goals. It's incredible. And with Domas, with the facilitator that he is, and the rest of the guys around him, they should improve offensively if that's possible.
Sasha's the straight catch and shoot guy.
So the question is, can they get better defensively? Now, they didn't bring in a bunch of stud defenders. We talked that we both like Duarte's game in terms of him improving it. And Sasha's probably a middle to below middle defender. I don't expect a ton there.
A good team defender.
But Lynn should be better, more comfortable in the defense. I think also this training camp and this offseason, everything was the first time last year.
True.
And everything was great and fine or whatever. But also there is something, as you probably know, the second time that you return to stuff and it's not brand new to you, the more likely you are to be able to apply it. So I think even the less than average or average defenders, you should see some improvement in their game defensively.
Oh, no doubt.
And that's what Mike Brown, don't forget, LeBron James talked about this during the season. Mike Brown went to Cleveland, and what he changed for those LeBron James teams was defense. He's a defensive guy at heart.
I'll tell you what, and you hit it right on the head. Mike Brown is going to hold guys more accountable. You know, this first year, he's looking and he's evaluating. He's seeing, okay, what's going on, what's happening, what you can do, what you can't do. This year, he's going to hold guys to a higher caliber on the defensive side. You know, I mean, he didn't play last year. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Mike Brown will call the timeout 16 seconds into the game.
Yeah.
And point out what's going on. But I think he's going to hold each and every last one of his players to a higher standard because he understands that in order to make another step forward towards a championship team, because you have to understand, Mike Brown been there. He's been to the mountaintop. He's going to hold those guys to a higher standard and say, this is what it's going to take for us to make that next step.
And that's why I loved the hire so much, because while he didn't win one with LeBron, he got him there and obviously didn't have a great time in LA. But he went from being known as a defensive coach, and we all know the phrase, the adage, defense wins championships. But after that stint as being known as the defensive guy, he spent time with the Warriors where it was all this crazy offensive stuff. So to me, he's now a more well-rounded coach. He's not like D'Antoni where he's all offense, and he's not like he used to be where he was all defense.
Right. But I tell you what, though, in order for the Warriors to win those championships, that defense had to ramp up.
100%. Yeah.
They were all offense, but that defense the defense was there.
But he's a sponge, so you know he was picking up on the offensive
no
stuff
doubt.
too.
I mean, being there with Steve Kerr, man, and seeing all of that stuff, you know, Mike Brown, his pedigree is huge.
Yeah.
You know, and especially whenever you come out of the Popovich realm, you're one of the best coaches in the league.
Yeah, and if they can get out of the bottom six and get even to the middle of the pack or maybe a little bit higher than
That's
that,
great.
Then again, this is
great.
another reason why, you can point out all the stuff of why they might take a step back. And I'll give, for everyone that you give me, I'll give you a reason why they could take a step up or at least remain the same.
Hey, if they can get that defensive thing taken care of or even just get better, that's going to put them in a lot better place.
100%. All right, coming up at the bottom of the hour, are you ready for some football? Everybody is. It is Football Friday, and we'll get into some big games for some really good 0-1 teams. We'll do that next. You're listening to Zakariah, Henry the High Flyer, right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Who do they decide on for the Super Bowl?
What do you mean, halftime act?
Yeah. I know that Taylor Swift.
Yeah, turned them down, right?
At what point do people turn on Taylor Swift to be like, why don't you lower your prices? And I understand the whole Ticketmaster thing, but what about the merch? Like, legit, do you have to make $1 billion? Could you make 500 million? Could you?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Jeep Adventure Days?
Right now, save up to $10,500 off MSRP when you lease the all-new 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4xe. And you can even lease the all-new 2024 Sport S Wrangler 4xe for only $459 a month.
Sorry, Chad, I must have misheard you. Did you say 2024 Wrangler 4xe?
You heard that right. The brand new 2024s. And that's not it. If you've been looking at the Jeep Gladiator, you can save up to $12,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Jeep Gladiators.
Wow, take advantage of these savings before they're gone at Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Woodland. See their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$10,500 total net savings applies to lease only after $8,500 factory rebates and $2,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include $7,500 federal tax credit, subject to change without notice. Lease term is 36 months with $49.95 due at signing plus tax, title, and license on approved credit through Stellantis. 10,000 miles per year limit with 25 cents per mile charge for access. $12,000 total net savings on select 2023 Gladiators after $62.52 rebates and $53.48 dealer discounts. Rebates include $500 first responder bonus cash for current members of eligible First Responders Association. 5 net savings. See dealer for details.
The best car
cowboys and cowgirls in the country are coming to Marysville.
It must be rodeo time.
They're all coming for the Marysville Stampede PRCA Rodeo.
And we should be there too.
It's this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, at Cotton Rosser Arena in Marysville.
Have they raised their prices?
No. Online tickets are good for Saturday or Sunday. Just $20 for adults and $10 for kids 4 to 12. The Marysville Stampede. It's this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Tickets on sale now at MarysvilleStampede.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple, to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Players know it's not just because you win more. It's because of everything else at Gold Country Casino Resort, where players roll in and winners are made. Winning isn't the only thing on the menu, and nightlife, it's more than entertaining. Drinks and dining options are abundant and guaranteed to satisfy your innermost desires. Come be our guests and see why Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is where the players play.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The San Francisco 49ers have a Week 2 duel in Southern California against the Los Angeles Rams. Coverage of the game begins at 12 o'clock noon on Sunday, right here on Sactown Sports 1140 and the Sactown Sports app. There's 15 games left in the season for the San Francisco Giants in Major League Baseball. Going into the weekend, the Giants are tied with the Diamondbacks and Reds for the 6th and final NL wildcard spot. The Giants have 4 games over the next 3 days against the Colorado Rockies. Reminder, come on out to the Marysville Stampede tomorrow and Sunday, September 16th and 17th at the Cotton Rosser Arena. You can get your tickets today at MarysvilleStampede.com. Those are your headlines. It's time for the Fortinet Championship Update, live from Silverado Resort in Napa Valley. This update is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Sahith Theegala is running away today. He posted a 64. He is 12 under for the tournament. He's in first place. Tied for second, we have Eric Cole and Lucas Herbert. Herbert is still yet to tee off on the day. And making a charge from the back of the pack, we have Justin Thomas. The major champion is 8 under after posting a 67 today. Now let's return to the show here on Sactown Sports.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916, Sactown Sports.
Welcome back, Sacramento. It is Sactown Sports 1140 alongside Henry the High Flyer.
Roll out.
I am
Roll
Zakariah.
out.
Ludacris, underrated.
Roll out. Luda.
Underrated, man. Saw him live in Santa Barbara, from what I remember.
That's it for what you
He was
remember.
about 19 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. This was before he was Luda.
Got you.
I don't even think he was the headliner. But yeah, man, college concerts underrated. When you go see guys that are not quite there yet, before they get into sold-out arenas, if you can catch them at a college concert, hung out with Bone Thugs and Harmony behind the backstage, that's the type of stuff you don't get.
Going
later.
down.
Yeah, that was what's up. Coming up at 12:45, story time with Uncle Hank.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Let's get some more stories. We're not even going to do the stories with all the super famous people that you know, like Gary Payton and co.
Right.
I want to know more about your international career.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
We'll go into that in a little bit.
We'll go into it.
Do that 12:45. Get to know Hank. But right now, are you ready for some football? Do we have like a little NFL bet? I'm sure we do. It's week 2, but never too early to overreact, Hank. And as I told you earlier, teams that start 0-2 only have a 10% chance of making the playoffs. It is crazy, especially when I tell you Super Bowl contender Buffalo Bills are 0-1.
Right.
Super Bowl contender Cincinnati Bengals are 0-1. Super Bowl contender Kansas City Chiefs are 0-1.
Right.
A lot of very good teams 0-1 going into week 2. So let's go around the schedule, and let's start with Dolphins Patriots Sunday Night Football. What do you like there, Hank?
I like the Dolphins. I like they showed me something, man.
Tua has owned New England. Now, part of that's been because it's been post Brady,
right?
Because believe me, any Dolphins fan will tell you, Tom Brady ran that division for not 1 decade, Hank. 2 decades.
It gave them the business.
Yes,
exactly.
absolutely.
One of the best in the business. But yeah, I'm with the Dolphins on that one.
Yeah, actually, Miami favored in New England. New England looked decent. I think they're going to be better than they were last year, but Dolphins' offense looked explosive
That's what I'm
against
talking
the
about.
Chargers. But yeah, like I said, Bill Belichick's probably more aware of that stat than I am, that you don't want to start off 0-2 under any circumstances.
Yeah, and you don't have Brady to lay on.
Yeah. One of my surprises from last week was the Packers, Hank. Moving on from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. I didn't really see it in Jordan Love, and teammates are always going to talk well about you, and he got a lot of love from his teammates during training camp, but they went in and got their first win. They traveled to Atlanta, who also got a surprising underdog win.
Hey, I will tell you this. Love had about as much pressure on him as any quarterback outside of Brock Purdy, because think about it. It's only been 2 starters for that ball
In
club.
40 years?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
And you're coming behind them.
Yep.
People are expecting big things from you. I actually thought he played well. He's in another good system. And, everybody.
Their team is.
Right. Everybody around him, is doing their thing. So it really doesn't look at you like you're the end-all, be-all to make this team go.
And also, which obviously helps him, he didn't walk into a situation where they're just completely rebuilding. Oftentimes, and he's not a rookie, he's played behind Aaron, much like Aaron played behind Favre, but oftentimes rookies that come in, they're trying to keep a sinking float. I mean, there's a reason why
True. Like I said,
they're the number 1 pick, because the
end,
team's so bad.
You're the end-all, be-all. It's like either you play Herculean or we lose.
And you're seeing that with Bryce Young and the Panther. I mean, there's a reason why teams are so bad that they're picking that early and quarterbacks are going. So usually you don't see a lot of success. Hell, even Peyton Manning set the record for most picks. I mean, when you come into a bad situation, it's hard to be good. That's not the case with Jordan Love.
No, because you usually start off your first 3 years, you struggle until they get some other pieces around you to help. But he has a great foundation.
Yeah.
So, to just put him in there and to keep that team afloat and keep those guys going, all they needed for him to be solid.
Yep, they built that roster assuming they were in win now mode with Aaron. Aaron and them have a divorce, and now Love can step in there. And again, not a rookie. He's been there. He's been through training camps. He's played preseason ball. So I guess I shouldn't have been shocked. I guess I was more just judging him as an actual quarterback and what I had seen prior, and I didn't think he was going to look as good as he did. I think he had 3 picks, no interceptions.
And here's the deal. When you have enough time to just sit there and watch Aaron Rodgers get taught by Aaron Rodgers, you're learning. You're seeing. I mean, you're soaking up so much knowledge
Audibles.
to where when you have to step into that line, you're there. It's not like you're walking into someplace blind.
Yeah, for sure. And watching him, like I said, audibles, reading the defense, even the cadence when you say Hut, Blue 32, all that, so all those small things go a long way.
You know what? Trying to get the defense to jump off line, all of those things. But he sat there and he's watched. All you do is, for your first year, you get a whole list of Aaron Rodgers film and you watch it.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the next one. The Raiders with Jimmy G. He has a nickname. I can't say that. You can't say anything, even though it's technically I could say it. I wouldn't get dumped. But again, I'm erring on the side of caution.
Right.
I'll tell you in the commercial break if you don't know what I'm talking about. But they get a kind of unimpressive, I guess any win on the road against a divisional opponent is a good win. But it wasn't exactly, I didn't walk away thinking the Raiders were world beaters. But they go up against Josh Allen and a peed off Buffalo Bills team in Buffalo.
Right. I mean, it wasn't all glitz and glamour.
No.
For the Raiders.
Ugly win, but a win's a win.
A win's a win, bro.
Yeah.
And then, you get a Jimmy G coming in there and he succeeds his first time out.
Yep.
You get guys to believe in what you're doing.
Yep.
I mean, you didn't just throw the ball away. You didn't have a ton of turnovers. So you start gaining confidence from guys, and hopefully they catch on, and you start rolling. You start playing a good product of football.
Yeah, we'll
probably also note that Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams, and Jimmy Garoppolo all questionable for Sunday.
Yeah, Myers. It's a concussion thing with Myers, I believe. He didn't practice. I think. Yeah.
Devontae Adams didn't practice with a foot. Jimmy G limited with the ankle
today.
Yeah, he got ankle yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yes, as of Thursday.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why the Bills are more than a touchdown point favorite in Buffalo. Plus, like I said, Allen and the Bills feel like they let one get away against the Jets on Monday Night Football. So not a great spot for the Raiders. But let's move on. Ravens, Bengals in Cincinnati. Another quarterback that's considered to be top 5 that had an ugly game on Sunday, but they're going up against the Ravens. Lamar finally got paid. I believe Mark Andrews is coming back from his injury, the stud tight end for the Ravens. What are your thoughts, Ravens at Bengals on Sunday?
Because I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. I like the way he plays. He's a dynamic quarterback, but the Bengals laid an egg too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Ravens on that one.
Okay.
Already ruled out for the Ravens, Marlon Humphrey, Ronnie Stanley, Tyler Linderbaum, and Marcus Williams.
Yeah.
And see, that's
and they lost the running backs too.
And you got to have injury reports before every game in football.
They might, the whole team might as well be listed as questionable.
Right.
Now you got Seahawks, who did not look very good last week, going up against the Lions, who got an impressive win. I got a buddy who lives in Michigan. He lives in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Man.
He says that place is going to be on fire on Sunday. Already sold out, standing room only.
The Lions look good. The Lions look very good. I'm a Pete Carroll fan. Okay. I believe in Pete Carroll. I love the way he gets
I'd love to play for him.
Man, I love the way he gets his guys fired up. And, when you don't have the best talent, but you got a guy that can motivate players and get them to believe he's one of the best in the business. But they are on the road. They are on the road, so I'll ride with the Lions.
Chargers and Titans. Chargers lost a tight one to the Dolphins. The Titans looked very commentators were making fun of Ryan Tannehill during the broadcast, but they're in Tennessee. The Chargers, a slight favorite, 2.5. How do you feel about that game?
I'm with the Chargers. I'll ride with that.
And I think they're going to win big. So only gamble responsibly and in states where it's legal, but I like the Chargers in that one as well. All right, we're going to just do half now. Maybe we'll do half later. Bears and Buccaneers. That will not be one of the games that's on one of my many TVs in my living room, Hank. But Bears and Buccaneers. Buccaneers with a pretty big W in Minnesota. Yeah. And Bears, as we talked about earlier with the Packers.
But Minnesota stunk. I mean, Minnesota just stunk. So,
it's true.
So the Buccaneers don't get no kudos for going in there and just dragging the Vikings. But I'll tell you what, the Bears, they
got something going. Are you a Fields guy?
I like him. I'm not quite sold, but I like him. I think, it's not going to be the prettiest game. Like you said, it's not going to be the game that, catches your attention. Say, I'm going to watch this. But, it might be one of those games to where it's a grind out type game.
Yeah.
And if it's grind out, I'll go with the Bears.
Okay. And I'm just gonna categorize it as I'll catch the highlights. Sorry, you got that many games going. I might watch it if it was on Thursday night or something.
That's a red zone game.
Exactly. Show me when they're scoring.
Hey,
I don't need to watch that.
I said it wasn't gonna be pretty, but if it's grind out, I'll go with the Bears.
All right, coming up next, it's get to know Hank time. I'm gonna ask him all sorts of questions about all of his decade plus years playing professional hoop. We'll do that. It's called Fun in the 40s. Fifth. I plead the fifth. Zakariah, Henry the High Flyer, right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Shop the largest selection of Klein tools and get 5 times the bonus points. Plus, right now, buy a DeWalt Power Stack battery kit and get a select DeWalt Bear tool free, up to a $249 value. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid 9/18 through 9/29. Subject to change. DeWalt offer valid through 10/11.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
It's time now for the Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Solar and Home Services. Well, the road division win in week 1 was beautiful. The follow-up for the Silver and Black, a trip to Buffalo. The Raiders haven't beaten Buffalo since 2016. It's a short week for the Bills. Josh Allen was rough in New York with 4 turnovers, and the Silver and Black will look for more. Max Crosby had 5 tackles, 2 QB hits, and a sack in week 1. Buffalo gave up some yards to Breece Hall. The Raiders are looking to get Josh Jacobs unleashed this weekend. That's your Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Solar and Home Services. Did you hear about ACR Solar's free home battery special? Well, for a limited time, get a free LG Chem 10H home battery with a minimum purchase of 12 solar panels. Now, you'll own the system outright with no leasing involved. The offer includes 10-year parts and labor warranty for your added security and peace of mind. Take advantage of a 30% tax credit on your solar panel purchase, as the offer is limited to the first 100 customers only. Visit acrsolar.com to get the offer. The number 916-481-7200.
Everyone loves to be outside, and so do mosquitoes. Protect yourself against mosquitoes and West Nile virus by following these simple tips. At least once a week, look around your yard and drain stagnant water from any containers where mosquitoes can breathe. Remember to use an effective mosquito repellent, especially at dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Close all doors and be sure screens are in good working condition. At the Mosquito and Vector Control District, we're here to help. Visit us at fightthabite.net.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and 0 down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Smooth. See, this is good. People probably already got their lunch, so now they're digesting. Let's play some smooth.
See, I've been playing a lot of your guys' music. I had to pull a song from my playlist in here.
There you go.
See, I ain't got that yet. I haven't had anything to eat yet.
Yeah. See, I ate a sandwich for breakfast, which was weird.
As soon as I leave here, it's going down.
I believe it. Welcome on back in Sacramento. It is Zakariah, Henry the High Flyer, here on Sactown Sports, 1140. Join the program, 916-339-1140. jump in on the YouTube chat. Just search Sactown Sports. And coming up at the top of the hour, the final hour, we will get into what we've been trying to get into. And it was a story that I knew was going to run all summer long, and now it's taken us into the fall, which is Dame Lillard, and I don't know what the hell's going to happen with James Harden, but the commissioner, Adam Silver, sort of addressed it. So we'll see. They're look, give them credit. They're trying to fix their issues. I don't know if any of it's going to work. We talked about how we don't know about the load management, but we'll get into that at the top of the hour. But right now, I was just telling you in the break, you probably have so many stories that we could make this, a daily or at least a weekly segment, but we're going to get to know Hank right here. So just before I ask my first question, give the people that don't know who you are, and shame on you if you don't, but those that don't know Henry the High Flyer, just give a little background on your accolades, how many years you played, where you played, all that good stuff.
Oh, man, played over 15 years professional basketball. Went to a 4-year ride at Cal State Fullerton. I'm a Bay Area boy. Went to Fremont High. Fremont High, all-time leading scorer to this day.
Too short, Gary Payton.
Oh yeah, Bay Area. I'm in the OAL Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So played many years overseas. Right now, I've been doing the broadcast for the Sacramento Kings on radio, on TV for the last 15 years.
All right. Well, here's my first question. I don't know how often you've been asked this, but I'm always fascinated. Obviously, the stories about GP and Jason Kidd and Larry Bird, all that stuff is great. And I do want to ask you about that too. But a question that I feel like never really gets asked is, who was the best player that you either played with or against that never made it to the plateau, that never really got to the point that you knew or that he should have?
It's funny. You haven't really asked the question, but, when we're together, and when I say we're, 9 times out of 10, it's me, Jason, Gary Payton, Brian Shaw, Antonio, all of us who did make it.
Mm-hmm.
And we start talking about the guys that we played with that didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
And the one name that I always throw out, and if you ever talk to Gary, you throw this name out to him.
Okay.
And just watch the expression on his face. Yeah. This is back in the high school days. I had a little guard named Anthony Smith, Fremont High.
Okay. How little are we talking?
Anthony had to be 6 foot.
Okay.
He was Steph.
By the way, all the 5'8" guys out there right now are like, come on, man,
yeah,
little guy.
Really.
But yeah, in basketball terms,
yes.
Yeah.
He was Steph Curry before Steph Curry.
Oh, so he could shoot
the lights
out.
Yeah. And I'm talking from deep. I always get, because, GP is the number one, trash talker.
Yeah.
And we always go back to talk high school ball because we always want to brag.
Mm-hmm.
And I always hit Gary with this. I'm like, Gary, yes, you was a monster in high school, but you didn't want no parts of Anthony Smith. And he's like, ooh, you right.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet you the reason why his face looks like that is his nickname is the Glove.
Hey.
He took a ton of pride in his defense, so he must have been able to score on him.
GP is a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
And, we know all of his accolades, even Jason Kidd both. But when I say Anthony Smith, both of those guys is like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
The dude could just straight score. He was a scorer. But, growing up in East Oakland, man, and in the situation that we were in, life comes into play. Your living situation comes into play.
Of course.
Parenting and all of that.
All of it has an effect.
And didn't come from a stable household, man. So by junior year, senior year, got into trouble with the law, went to jail, didn't get a chance to play a senior year, spent a few years incarcerated, tried to come out and go to JUCO, still same thing, always stayed in trouble. But when I tell you the talent, man, the talent of this dude was impeccable. The crazy thing about it is that, I always compare him to Steph Curry because he's light-skinned and he's short. He can shoot. He can shoot the ball from deep. But back in the day, his dad was a janitor at the Oakland Coliseum. And we used to go to work with him when he cleaned the Coliseum because we take our basketball and we would shoot.
Nice.
all the time.
That's awesome.
On the Golden State Warrior floor.
That's awesome.
So, I remember those days, man, and so many times that we just shot basketball the whole time his dad was cleaning up.
Yeah.
And, and to really compare him to Steph Curry, I thought it kind of went full circle.
Yeah. No, I mean, if he gave the glove fits, then yeah, absolutely.
In high school, Gary couldn't touch him.
That's crazy. Yeah, I know. And it's, just to kind of put that across other athletes, some that actually did end up getting to the NBA. You think of guys, even a guy like Sean Kemp,
right.
Weight issues, substance abuse issues, Isaiah Ryder, the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Guys that had all the potential, got close enough, but could have been so much better had they just done things the right way.
Oh, yeah, I could throw another name out there. You're a Bay Area guy. I know you know Demetrius Hook Mitchell.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Anybody listening, if you're looking, I know, are the writers still on strike? I'm not a huge TV guy, but they still are on strike?
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot of my friends that have watched everything, I'm like, how can you have watched everything? There's like a billion things.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're listening and you're looking for something to watch, it's just called Hook, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Watch the documentary on Hook Mitchell. Legendary. When I played ball at Contra Costa, people would talk about him all the time. I guess he would go over there. I think he might have even played for the Comets.
You know what? Hook, we used to do slam dunk competitions, and Hook was the first one. I was actually at this slam dunk competition. I didn't do it, but he did it. I pulled a bike out, and I 360'd over a bike.
Nice.
He pulled out a 240Z and 360'd over the Z. And Hook Mitchell has to be 6'2", 6'3" at the most.
Wow.
The dude could just jump out the gym. But yeah, he was another one.
Yeah, great documentary on that. All right, how about this? You played internationally.
Right.
Country with the best food.
Oh, no doubt. Italy.
Hands down?
Hands down, man.
All right. Well, my mama, she's listening.
Hey,
she's going to be a happy lady.
And let me tell you, and if your mama can cook some
She retired.
Some authentic Italian pasta,
Yep.
we going to Mama Zach's spot right now.
And she always says you have to salt the water before you put the pasta
no
in.
doubt.
Well, a lot of people make that mistake, and it really makes her angry.
And the only way that you know that it's ready is you take the pasta out and you throw it up against the wall. If its stick is ready, if it bounces off, you leave it in the pot.
There you go. I haven't heard that, but I believe you. All right, now let's jump in an airplane and let's go to your NBA days.
Right.
Give me both. I don't know how much time we have, but give me both. Easiest guy to guard and hardest guy to guard. You got a minute on each.
Okay. There is no easy guard back then.
Okay, easier-ist or whatever.
There is no easy guard back then.
I understand.
Back then, I mean...
Least difficult. How about that?
Least difficult.
A guy that you just owned. He couldn't score on you. You might as well have been the glove.
I'm telling you, it was no guys.
Really?
Like that.
No guys where you were licking your chops?
No, at all. At all.
Now hardest.
Every night, of course, it's the Black Cat. Whenever you have to go up against Michael.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you had to go up against Jordan, bro, you had a hard night. I know elite defensive players that lost sleep because they had to play against number 23 Chicago the next day.
Yeah. So you told the Larry Bird smack talk. Was there anything that stood out that he said?
No, it was a play that we had, though, that really just sticks out, and all my friends laugh when I tell the story. We play in Chicago, and we're in Chicago. And this is back when Danny Ainge was our point guard. And I didn't know, and a lot of people didn't know, that Danny Ainge and Michael Jordan were real good friends. They played golf together. Every time we played them, Danny and Michael went out and played golf.
Yeah.
So Danny talks trash too. He's talking trash to Michael. They're playing golf. So Mike said, that's okay. You beat me today, but tonight I'm going to give you the business, right? So get to game time. I come in and I hear Danny walk past Michael, and I guess he tells Michael, he says, yeah, Hank's about to handle you, right?
Uh-huh.
So I come in and I'm standing next to him, and he doesn't acknowledge me at all.
Uh-huh.
Usually when a guy checks into a game,
yeah.
You pat him on the side. Oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah, for sure.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah. Because him and Danny jaw-jacking back and forth.
Yeah.
Right now, he's ready.
Uh-huh.
I'm just checking in. I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm not warm. I'm not ready.
You just caught friendly fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we take the ball. They're shooting a free throw. We take the ball out. Give the ball to Vinny Del Negro. Vinny Del Negro starts dribbling the ball up court. I'm running up the side to the other court. Michael's heated. Michael rips Vinny at half court. Now, I see this. I start backpedaling. I'm backpedaling.
Bad move.
I'm getting into my defensive stance. Remember I told you I was a defensive stopper.
Yeah.
I'm getting into my stance now. I'm getting into my stuff.
Yeah.
I look down, and I'm at the 3-point line. I'm like, I'm good. But here comes Mike. He's coming, tongue out, full rudder, right?
Yep.
So I said, okay, he's coming. I got him. I take 2 steps back, right?
Yep.
I'm at the top of the key. I see it. I'm at the top of the key. I'm good, right?
Yep.
Lock in.
Yep.
Because you know he's going to the basket.
Yep.
I take 2 more steps back. I'm at the free throw line, and I hear Rod say, Hank, step up. I was a foot below the free throw line, and Mike is there.
Wow.
And when he says step up, I'm like, no.
Slow-mo at that point, right? Yeah.
Dude, he takes off, man. And if you know Mike jumps high, but he's at his peak.
Right? Yeah.
No, he's at his peak soon as he explodes.
Huh.
Like when I jump, I go high, keep going higher up.
Yeah.
And I might can get there, but Mike, as soon as he takes off, boom, he explodes. He's there. And, man, Rod said, step up. And I'm like, no. I step to the side, and he dunks on Rodney McCray so hard.
Oof.
Rodney gets up and say, man,
I told you to step up.
He was like, man, what the hell wrong with you?
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's Michael Jordan.
I couldn't do nothing.
Yo. Oh, man, that's good stuff. All right, well, that's getting to know Hank. Yeah, we got to do that more often, man. That's a ton of fun. I could listen to that all day long. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, final hour, we will get into what the commissioner had to say about guys demanding trades. Also, we'll get you ready for Niners-Rams this Sunday. You're listening to Zakariah, Henry the High Flyer, right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
What if I told you there was a way to step into another gear for your brain and be much sharper, more focused, and improve your memory to a level that you could only dream about and notice these results in 30 minutes? Hard to believe? Neuroscientists are calling this new brain discovery the biggest advancement in brain science to date. It's called Limitless, the brain pill of the future. Take it, and within 30 minutes, you'll transport your mind to a new level of focus and clarity you would have never thought possible.
I took Limitless, and it started working in minutes. All of a sudden, it felt like a dark cloud had been lifted up right before my eyes. I have a mental clarity I've never felt before.
Biz execs, athletes, teachers, and students are calling Limitless a secret weapon for the brain. You have nothing to lose, so call now and find out how to get a free bottle today.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Limitless, call 800-605-3946. That's 800-605-3946. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now. 800-605-3946. 800-605-3946.
Hi, it's Brian Bennett from Bennett's Restaurants in Roseville and Sacramento, and our newest restaurant, Bennett's West Side Grill at Rockland's Blue Oak Town Center on Lone Tree Boulevard. We believe in serving the freshest handcrafted foods in a warm, convivial setting. We have a fantastic happy hour featuring shareable plates, wine, priced from just $6. And get this, we feature happy hour 7 days a week, 2 to 6 p.m. So grab a friend and come in and have some fun. Bennett's Kitchen Bar Market, Eureka and Lead Hill Roads in Roseville, and Bennett's American Cooking on Fair Oaks and Howe in Sacramento. Speaking of our newest restaurant in Rockland, we feature live fire grilling over mesquite wood. We are smoking our own salmon, chicken, and cheese. You have to eat it to believe it. Want a nice seafood platter? West Coast oysters, Dungeness crab, wild Mexican prawns, Bering Sea snow crab claws. Look no further than Bennett's West Side Grill. Find us on the web at bennettsrestaurants.com and book a reservation today. Eat well, stay well, and remember, Bennett's is where you'll always receive a hospitable welcome.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockrell with Retirement Security Centers with the weekly economic update. Inflation numbers are in, and there was a slight increase due to a rise in energy costs. These numbers, while higher, may be temporary, so this may allow the Federal Reserve deposits rate hikes this month. Usually good news for stock-based investments. A potential pause in interest rate hikes was met with a yawn by investors as trading volume was much less than the past few sessions. Is the S&P 500 inflated as well? Current price-earnings ratio of the index is 18.7 after a drop from 20. Historical price-earnings averages over the past 2 decades are 16.8 and 15.76 respectively. The price-earnings ratio is determined by dividing the current stock price by earnings per share. This is one way to help determine if a stock or an index is priced reasonably. With stagflation, stagnating economic growth, and increasing prices in Europe, and a deflationary environment in China, will investors shrug off apparent inflated prices and continue to bet on domestic stocks for growth opportunities? How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The San Francisco 49ers have a Week 2 duel in Southern California against the Los Angeles Rams. Coverage of the game begins at 12 o'clock noon on Sunday right here on Sactown Sports 1140 and the Sactown Sports app. Reminder to come on out to the Marysville Stampede this weekend, September 16th and 17th at the Cotton Rosser Arena. You can get your tickets at marysvillestampede.com. And, of course, all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Those are your headlines. It's time for your Fortinet Championship update live from Silverado Resort in Napa Valley. This update is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Well, Sahith Theegala is still in first place at 12 under right now. Eric Cole has jumped into second at 10 under. He's on the 18th hole. Lucas Herbert is in third place at 9 under. He's yet to tee off today. Meanwhile, Justin Thomas, the major champion golfer, has stormed up the leaderboard. He's at 8 under in fourth place. Now let's return for the final hour here on Sactown Sports.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Welcome back in Sacramento. It is Sactown Sports alongside Henry the High Flyer. I am Zakariah, and we're going to take you higher. How about that? Man. I don't know. That wasn't my best word.
Okay. I'm looking. Hey, you know what? I'm just vibing the PE, man.
Yeah, it's Friday, man.
I'm just vibing.
I got the Friday brain going.
I'm just vibing the Public Enemy.
There you go. 3 hours in the books. One more to go. We take you up until 2 o'clock when Whitey and Watkins will take over. You can join the program, 916-339-1140. Check out all the platforms, Sactown Sports, Sactown 1140. I'm on Twitter, at Zach Sports, ZAK Sports. He's at Hank the High Flyer.
DA. High Flyer.
On Twitter. So follow us there, tweet at us, all that good stuff. We'll get to the text line and the chat room on YouTube, where you can also watch us. And people are talking about what they're having to eat, what they're doing for the day. There's just like a whole community up in there, Hank.
Oh man, you know what? They need to throw out some a little advice, man, because I'm ready to eat.
Yeah,
I got to get
stomach
it in.
growling.
Yeah, because I'm still fasting. I haven't eaten anything today.
Only 51 more minutes.
51 more
You'll
minutes.
be good. You can make it.
Oh yeah,
you should just bring like a little Nutri-Grain bar just to hold you over.
You know what? I usually do, but I was coming from another job, so I haven't really had time. But
I got you.
I get it in.
Just keep it like a backpack. You know what I mean?
You know what? Nutri-Grain don't do nothing with all this, though.
I hear you. Coming up at 1:15, we'll talk to Marcus Thompson II. He's a writer for The Athletic. He's also published 3 books, all surrounding his time covering the Warriors, Golden, KD, and Dynasties. We'll talk to him about the Warriors, the Kings, the NBA at large, and more about what we're going to get into right now. Obviously, coming up this weekend, football's on everybody's brain. as it's going to be Niners Rams in LA. Looks like on schedule. I don't know if you do this. Do you do this? You look at the schedule and you either put a W or an L next to. Okay.
Never.
I do that with either the teams that I'm covering or my favorite teams or whatever. I'll go through the schedule because, the NFL is so big. When the schedule comes out, they kind of do it with the NBA. And I know here for sure, like we did it for the preseason. But that was the dog days of summer. We were searching for anything to talk about. But, you go through and you go, okay. With the NFL, it's easier because there's less games.
Right.
I don't think NBA fans do it as much because you got to go through 82 of them. But with football, there's only 16, now 17. People go through and go, okay, I'm guessing they're going to go, 9-8 or whatever.
I mean, you always have your prediction. My main thing is that I understand every single game is its own entity.
Yeah.
I don't care how good, how good you're protected to be or how bad you're predicted to be. Every game
got
is a different situation. Yes.
I like that.
So I never said we got to win here, we got to win there, we got to win there.
So you didn't do that when you played?
No, ever.
No? Well, most people are not as practical as you are. Most people assume they're going to beat the bad teams and lose to the good teams. But to your point, it doesn't always end up shaking out like that.
No, it don't.
A lot of the times, a game that you think is going to be an L could be a W, or a game that you think is going to be a W is going to be an L.
And let me tell you this. People don't understand the mindset, especially if you're on a good basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on a good team, everybody is trying to beat you.
It's true.
Right.
So you don't know how they're going to play. They could be a bad team, but they're good that night.
But you have to bring your A game every night.
Yep.
Now, on the flip side, if you are on a bad team, but you're playing the champs,
they'll go out late the night before.
But guess what? You bring your A game because you're like, I'm not getting embarrassed by those guys.
No. I mean, the champs will go out late the night before if they're playing a bad team.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're on that bad team.
Yep.
You hype. You ready.
Yep.
You didn't have this
circle
game crossed off for 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I know every game is its own entity.
Yeah, so I still predict it to be a comfortable W for them down there, no matter how good the Rams looked last week. But as you say, that's why they play the games. But we'll find out come Sunday. But right now, we've been wanting to get to this, and I knew when this story first came out, which feels like the beginning of summer, that Dame Lillard, Oakland's own, kids, if you don't know that, he wears number 0 for Oakland.
The town,
who he's been a very loyal soldier, if you want to call it that, for Portland.
Very.
And he stuck with them when he could have left, but he loves that city. He loves the community, and it had finally been enough, I think, because they had at least been making the postseason, maybe some early exits. I know they made the Western Conference Finals once, but it didn't end up working out with C.J. McCollum. That was supposed to be like the two-man tandem.
Right.
And they did some things, but not enough.
Robin.
And it finally got to the point where it wasn't necessarily mutual. The team basically said, look, we're not going to say that we're going to trade you. You need to tell us that you're asking for a trade, which he ended up doing. Now, you would think there would be a very large pool of teams that would want to acquire Dame Lillard's services.
And there is.
However, he signed a huge contract.
That's the problem.
He's getting a little up there in age.
No, the teams can't afford to pay him.
Yes, because
that's the problem.
As we know, the way the pay structure is, they reward you for sticking with your team. So he got the super, super duper duper max. And the only team that can really finagle it right now is the Miami Heat. And because they're pretty much the only team, well, number one, the only team Dame wants to go to. Number two, there's not many people. So the Heat, they're both at a standstill. They're in a you-know-what contest.
Right.
And neither one is budging. And the main part of it is that the Heat are not going to bid up what they offer against themselves. If somebody else says that they have a good offer, maybe they go up, but they're not going to give him a better offer, so he's not going anywhere.
Here's the problem with Dame Lillard right now in a nutshell. Number one, it's that contract. His contract is through the roof.
Yep.
Portland paid him, and rightfully so, because he's been there, he's been loyal. They did exactly what they needed to retain his services.
Yep.
But now the problem is other teams would love to have Dame Lillard, but they're going to have to give up a lot to get him, and those teams aren't willing to give up. Think about it. We're talking about maybe top 3 point guard in the league.
Yep.
You're just not going to give up a bag of potato chips and a 6-pack of beer for this dude.
Yep.
That's the problem with Miami right now, is that Miami's like, we're not prepared to just straight rape our roster to get Dame Lillard. And plus, we know he wants to come here. So we're going to let everybody else throw out all this other stuff. And when Dame says no, we're going to try to get him for a lesser value.
Which is interesting, though, because if Portland just lets him come back and he gets hurt, then all of a sudden his trade value goes down. But anyways, you have the Dame Lillard situation in Portland, and then also you have the James Harden situation.
Total different.
In Philly.
Totally different.
But here is the commissioner, Adam Silver, sort of addressing, because this is not the first two times that this has happened. We went all the way back to Stevie franchise, and it's been happening, it seems, even way more. Harden seems to always be in the mix, but here's the commissioner on how they're going to try to fix it.
In terms of trade demands, of course, don't like them. As a league, want players and teams to honor their contracts, and I'm watching both the situation in Portland and Philadelphia and hope they get worked out to the satisfaction of everyone before the season starts. And I'm glad that things seem to have settled down somewhat, at least in terms of public discourse.
And I don't get so much why they care, why he cares about. I mean, I guess you don't want it in the headlines, but just because people haven't been going back and forth and articles haven't been written about it does not mean that it's not the elephant in the room, that Harden does not want to play in Philly and wants to go to LA, and that Dame Lillard is in Portland and wants to play in Miami, which is actually funny. I just did an X because you got Philly and then LA and then you got Portland and then you got Miami. I don't know. I just did that out loud. But anyways.
You know, the thing is, the difference is that with Dame Lillard, no one is really looking at Dame saying, how could you? They understand because Dame has been so loyal to that Portland organization, right? But everybody is looking at James Harden, and plus Dame hasn't said a word, not one word. And because see, I'm real close to that situation. Dame and I had the same agent.
Okay.
And plus, I grew up with Dame's mother and father. So I've been knowing Dame since he's been a kid.
Okay.
And I know the ins and outs of their type of family. Dame has been extremely loyal.
Yep.
2 years ago, I asked Dame's dad, I was like, yo, how long is he going to, continue to say, I'm going to give it the go here in Portland?
Yep.
And Hugh looked me right in my eye and said, H, my boy is extremely loyal. Just straight out.
Yep.
He's extremely loyal, and he's going to try to make everything he can work
to make it
Portland.
work. Yep.
Right. And he's done that. He's ran his tenure. So no one is looking at Dame like, how could you? But on the other hand, James Harden, he's been in this situation time after time after time with every team that he went to. He hasn't been successful. He's struggled. He's never won the big one.
Yep.
And plus, he's very vocal and coming out and talking trash, trashing the organization that he plays for until he gets his way to where he can leave.
And he also doesn't want to be known as one of the greatest players never to win a ring. I mean, well, Barkley's kind of gotten to the point where I think he's accepted it to the point where they make fun of him in commercials. And Dan Marino is also known as one of the greatest football players to never win it, but he's also as loyal as he is, he's just as competitive.
Well, the thing about it is that it's not Charles Barkley by himself. Karl Malone is in there also. It's a bunch of great players who never won championships.
Thanks to Michael Jordan. He did it to GP and Kemp. He did it to Karl Malone and Stockton. He did it to Clyde. Oh, no, Clyde ended up getting one with Houston.
Right.
Barkley? He did it to a bunch of people.
Yeah, Gary Payton eventually got one too.
Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
You had to deal with, just a superstar.
Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
Patrick Ewing.
All those great guys didn't get championships.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, no one is doing it the way James Harden does it, though.
Opening night. Where is Dame Lillard playing? Not playing for the Blazers, playing for the Heat, or other?
I would say other. You know what?
We're about a month away.
I always came with this conspiracy theory. And I look at it like this. I look at LA. The only thing that would make LA be championship contender to me is that they need an all-star guard. What would push LA to get back to greatness?
You talking about the Lakers?
Yes. They have enough players to where they can clear roster and get Dame.
If you call that, I'll call you Henry Damas.
I'm just saying.
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that.
LA has done a lot that you think that couldn't be done.
Nothing would surprise me.
Exactly.
Nothing would surprise me.
But I'm just saying, that would be the only move that would catapult the Lakers to be back to greatness to where they are with LeBron, with AD, to where you can just sprinkle some other guys in and it can still happen.
Yeah, well, I just can't wait for it all to just be figured out.
For sure.
I mean, it's fun for a little while, but it's getting old now. All right, coming up next, let's speak with Marcus Thompson, shall we? What did he think about what the commissioner had to say? What are his thoughts on the Kings, the Warriors, the NBA at large? We'll do that next. You're listening to Henry the High Flyer and Zakariah right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
What if I told you there was a way to step into another gear for your brain and be much sharper, more focused, and improve your memory to a level that you could only dream about? And notice these results in 30 minutes. Hard to believe? Neuroscientists are calling this new brain discovery the biggest advancement in brain science to date. It's called Limitless, the brain pill of the future. Take it, and within 30 minutes, you'll transport your mind to a new level of focus and clarity you would have never thought possible.
I took Limitless and it started working in minutes. All of a sudden, it felt like a dark cloud had been lifted up right before my eyes. I have a mental clarity I've never felt before.
Biz execs, athletes, teachers, and students are calling Limitless a secret weapon for the brain. You have nothing to lose, so call now and find out how to get a free bottle today.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Limitless, call 800-605-3946. That's 800-605-3946. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now. 800-605-3946. 800-605-3946.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Welcome back, Sacramento, alongside Henry, the High Flyer. I am Zakariah, and coming up at the bottom of the hour, we will get to the rest of the games that we didn't get a chance to get to, getting you ready for week 2 in the NFL. You don't want to fall to 0-2. That's all I can tell you. We'll do that at the bottom of the hour. But right now, it is always a pleasure to bring on the one, the only, Marcus Thompson II. Follow him on Twitter. I refuse to call what they want you to call it. He is at Thompson Scribe. He writes for The Athletic. He writes bars for The Athletic, Henry. You'd appreciate that. That's what's in his bio. He writes bars for The Athletic. Also, he's the author of Golden, KD, and Dynasties. Go check out all those books and buy them wherever you buy your books. Marcus, what's cracking?
It's what's crackulating.
Crackulating. What's percolating? What's popping? Hey, I gotta start by calling you out, Marcus. Last time we spoke, you were telling me that I was getting old because I wasn't up on the threads, but it looks like that threads phenomenon is dying off, Marcus.
Yeah, but are you onto the new thing though?
No, what's new? Yeah, you're the one that keeps me young, Marcus.
You don't even know. You still chasing the old stuff. We already onto the new thing. I don't know. I wait for the youngsters to tell me, but as soon as they tell me, I'm gonna tell you.
All right, yeah. Send me a DM or something. All right, Marcus. I'm sure you saw Adam Silver speak a couple days ago, and the main thing was the news that came out about load management and essentially how they're going to prevent that. There's different ways that they're doing it. There's going to be big-time fines if they break the rules. You can't start. You can't sit 2 healthy stars on the same team. They made a guest list of who was deemed a star. But what did you make from everything? And ultimately, do you think that this is going to have any effect in the way that teams go about their business?
I don't think it will. I just think they'll just say they're hurt. Like, what do you do when a dude says my hammy's tight? You gonna say it's not? Like, that's the part I don't get. They'll just come with a reason to say he can't play, he's hurt, instead of that. Now, are they going to have, like, PIs investigating? Are they going to put plants on franchise and be like, yeah, no, he ain't really hurt? Will they have a snitch on every team? That feels like the way you got to do it. But what do you do when you say, hey, Chris Paul, hamstring tightness? Like, okay, Steph, knee. Like, that's all they'll do. I do think it'll help for some, but to me, the biggest factor in trying to prevent people resting is scheduling. That's what it is. Don't put big games on back-to-backs. Like, just start there. If you play a national TV game, don't put it back-to-back. Don't put it at the end of a 5-game road trip. You know, like, the league's kind of got to help, you know, the teams kind of do that. But I don't think it'll be that big of a difference, because I think they'll just say, my knee hurt, and then that's it.
But you know what, Marcus? Let's keep it a beam, bro. at the end of the day, I think the main thing about it is it's all about verbiage. I think it was more so egregious when teams said, oh, well, he's just load managing. That lets you know right there that the player wasn't hurt. He just wasn't going. I'm with you. You can't tell a player his ankle is not sore. We've got, situations to where players are doubtful. That's all the way up until game time decision. Doubtful is 50-50. Game time decision is all the way up until coach look at you and say, are you going to go? You say, nah, coach, is still tight. And all of a sudden you're out. How do you deal with that?
This felt like something for the fans, right? So they could say, man, we're on top of this. But I mean, you're right. It sounded bad. I think what you're saying is actually the thing. They don't want you to say Kawhi Leonard and Paul George is out for load management for rest. That's it. They don't like the way it sounds. I mean, they probably obviously want those guys to play. But, again, they could just say, hey, man, my knee hurt. I don't think you could prevent this. And I actually, you know what? I also think players want to play. I don't think they don't want to play. They're being told not to play to preserve their bodies. And while I know this is like, it sucks for fans and it's not a good look, bottom line is like LeBron's about to be 40. Steph's pushing 36 at the end of the year, right? Chris Paul's 30 looking for a new contract. We're about to start seeing evidence that maybe it works a little bit because the players used to be done at 32. Now you got a generation of stars hanging around for more time. So you're actually getting a good case for why maybe there's something to this because if the league gets Steph Curry playing this way until 38 after LeBron did it till 40, right? And now you got all these stars staying 15, 16 years. Isn't that a net win anyway instead of being washed at 32? You know what I'm saying? Like Larry Bird, my back hurt on my last year. I'm done, fellas. We out. You know what? I'm a dream team, and then I'm gone.
That's an excellent point. Go ahead.
But what about the flip side to that, Marcus? When you have a guy like Kawhi Leonard who, basically load managed big time. He was like the poster child for load management. And then when he finally did come back, his knee went out anyway, and he still wasn't able to make it all the way through the playoffs.
Yeah, he feel like he just one of them dudes, right? Like, you remember, his body is like can't get right from life. Like it just ain't go.
Hey, Jagale,
right? Yeah. When the crazy part is when you talk to people who really know Kawhi, like he wants to play. Like you know what I'm saying? Like his body's betraying him, but he want to get out there. They talk like PG raves about him. He's a great teammate. I feel like you're right. He's the face of the load management, but I do think it's just his body. Like in the same way, like Larry Bird's back would just be a problem the last couple of years of his career. I think that's just Kawhi. But I do think there's when you start thinking about who's going to carry this league, the Lukas, the Jokic, right? Those guys, like if you could figure out a way to get them to play 15 years of elite basketball instead of 10. That's a net win for the league. So I do think they might we'll get to some point where it's like, hey man, these dudes are 35 still balling. Maybe we should ease up, or maybe we should figure out another way to approach this instead of vilifying what teams are doing. To me, that's the biggest mistake. People are blaming players. The teams are saying, rest him, do not play. We have data to show that if he doesn't play, we'll have him for May, we'll have him for June. So it's the teams that are doing what's best for their asset. It just turns out that may not be what's best for the league in the short term.
The other thing that he addressed was basically players holding out, which Henry was telling me the original guy to do that was Stevie Franchise, and I remember other guys that did it. You probably remember Steven Jackson signed that deal with the Warriors and then immediately demanded a trade. But he didn't have
5 games later.
Yeah, well, because he got exactly. I'll never forget that. We were like, "What? You just signed the deal?" But he didn't really offer any, at least in this thing, they're showing that they're trying to do something. I think we all agree that they can't tell somebody how their body feels, but he didn't really offer any solutions to that. He just said, we never want that. But, I mean, is the league ever going to be able to do anything about guys like Harden just being out of shape and not trying until they get their way and get shipped out?
No, because, again, this is another problem where they're trying to legislate instead of the owners just being more responsible. You know the way you could solve this right now? and it's probably collusion. But just say no. Where's Damian Lillard right now?
Portland,
he
I
didn't get what
believe.
he wanted, right? Like,
yep.
The reason it works is because they don't have the stomach for it, and then they're gonna go trade a guy. They're like, well, we don't like if you make it not work, right? The reason it works, that's what happens. So
it's because they let him make it work. Yeah.
Yeah, Daryl Morey's like, man, I don't care what James Harden talking about, right? Like,
You know what,
I ain't
Mark?
moving you.
You know what, Marcus? The one thing that I think that probably would help in a small way is that collective bargain agreement. Now, when they go in and they go renegotiate with the Players Association, if they start bringing that up, that's the only thing that will be able to deter guys from just straight out saying, I don't want to be here, I want to be there.
Yeah, that CBA is all about like give and take, and I feel like the league is going to have to give up something pretty big if they want to cut that out.
Right.
Which like maybe it's removing the age limit, right? Letting dudes come straight out of high school, or maybe it's allowing people to sign, 5 and 6 year deals. So it's going to be interesting, like what do they really value? And sometimes, I know they just signed one, so we got a while, but sometimes the league, because, this is what they do, like it's negotiating. They'll make an issue that's not really an issue, and they know the players don't like it, so we're going to make this an issue, we're going to make this an issue, we're going to make this an issue, and then you give it up at collective bargaining agreement and make it a big give up, right? So now the players got to come with something. So it's smart negotiating. I think the NBA PA has gotten wise to it, but sometimes it's not that big of an issue. The owners just know it's a major issue. That's how we ended up with 4 years contracts and 3 years. Now you're starting to see it creep back up where you can sign a dude for 5, right? But you can't limit contracts, put a salary cap on, and make a dude stay with one team. You can't have all of it. So you either got to let dudes sign 6-year deals, take off the salary cap if you're going to make a guy sit out and, in a spot forever. But if you going to put a cap on it and you're going to say, man, you got 3-year deals, all you're doing is giving players the power to move, and they're going to take it somewhere. So I don't think they can have that cake and eat it too. They're going to have to give up something. And right now they're giving up players' ability to say, hey, I want out. And owners don't have the stomach to do it. So if they ever get some guts and the stomach, now we talking. But maybe Portland is doing that. But eventually, if Damian Lillard started acting crazy, they get him out of Portland. That's what you got to do. That's all it takes is start acting crazy.
Yeah, it's a perfect way to put it, too. It's a give and take. All right, quickly here, last one. Do you have any insight or intel on what the Warriors are going to do with Chris Paul? Because I remember when Chris Paul first got access to the media, I forget the young lady's name, but she said, how's it going to feel to come off the bench for the first time? And he looked at her and said, are you coaching the team? So is there any update on that? If you had to guess, would you say Chris Paul starts game 1?
I mean, I think he starts game 1 just against Phoenix. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Like, yo, man, come off the bench against KD and them. Like, you got to start him for that.
And Steve Kerr is that guy.
You know what I'm saying? I think they make a trade off where he ends up coming off the bench, but he ends up finishing games. I think it's going to be one of those two. I don't think they start with him on the bench, but I think they get there. Unless, like, to me, the answer is going to be how do they get killed with that small lineup? If they get killed with it, and we've seen them get killed the last couple of years, which is why Looney is so important, because they've been getting killed with it. So I don't know. Maybe Chris Paul can make you not get killed with it. I don't know how, but the moment they start getting dominated on the boards, can't play defense, we already know what they're going to do. They're going to put Looney right back in the game. So I think he ends up coming off the bench eventually, but he closes games.
Real quick, will Chris Paul make that team better?
I think so. I think in the playoffs. I'm not sure. Yeah, even regular season, I think he'll make them better. They need somebody to not turn the ball over. They need a dude who can get a 2-point shot, like, against anybody. That's exactly what they need, and that's what Chris Paul can do. He can get to the mid-range jumper, and he won't turn the ball over. If they had Chris Paul, they beat the Lakers, and they get to the Western Conference Finals. Maybe to lose to Denver, but they're around further.
Marcus Thompson II. Follow his stuff at Thompson Scribe. Also check out his books, Golden, KD, and Dynasties. Always appreciate you jumping on, Marcus. Have a great weekend.
Man, we ain't even get to talk Kings. Next time we talking Kings.
That's right, my brother. For
Sure.
sure. Well, just because the commissioner came out, we'll talk Kings next time.
I like this brother already.
Yeah, for sure. Right on, Marcus, man. Have a good day. All right, there you go. Marcus Thompson II. Coming up next, we'll get you ready for week 2. You're listening to Zakariah, Henry the High Flyer, right here, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Ron had a tax problem he just couldn't handle on his own.
I owed the IRS taxes for over 5 years, but I didn't have any money to pay the taxes.
Those years cost him dearly.
Most of it was fees and interest. It was horrible.
Ron finally called in the pros.
I called Optima Tax Relief, and boy, am I happy I did.
The leading tax resolution firm, Optima, is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've resolved over $1 billion for their clients. Ron was overjoyed.
They settled my account with IRS. I was ecstatic. They are a lifesaver. They are. I am so happy.
Take Ron's advice and call Optima now for a free consultation.
Yeah, don't do like I did and wait. Call Optima Tax Relief. Do it now. You'll be ecstatic like me.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Exergen is the smart choice when selecting a thermometer. As children return to school, keeping them healthy is important. Got a fever? Stay home. To detect fever accurately at home, you need a fast, non-invasive, and clinically accurate thermometer. Exergen provides all of that and is backed by over 100 clinical studies. Accuracy matters. Be smart and safe. Measure temperature accurately with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at HagenOaks.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Oh, God, he's back.
Who's back?
The clown.
The naked one?
Yes, Giggles. He just drove on the lot in a new Kia.
Does he want to trade it in?
No, he wants to show it off.
Isn't he showing off enough? Oh, here he comes.
See what Elk Grove Kia did for me? That's service. That's why they got my business, not you.
Yeah, I think we've already seen too much of your business. Thank you.
Elk Grove Kia. Great service for everyone.
Elk Grove Kia has never made it easier for you to show it off. Don't worry about credit. No credit, bad credit, charge-offs, repos. Don't worry. Our team has over 100 years of experience. Others say no. Elk Grove Kia says yes. Get your next Kia today at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or elkgrovekia.com and show it off today.
Elk Grove Kia.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. We're getting ready to send you into the weekend, but not before it's hot. Before we give you one more update from the Fortinet Championship live from Silverado Resort in Napa Valley. Of course, this update is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Sahith Tigata is still leading the tournament at 12 under. He posted a 64 today. Eric Cole finds himself in second place at 10 under. And Lucas Herbert is 9 under par. He's in third place, but he's just getting his day started. He is on the second hole. The major champion winner, Justin Thomas, is making a charge this weekend. He is at 8 under after posting a 67 today. Those are your headlines. Let's return for the final half hour with Zach and Henry Turner getting you ready for NFL Week 2.
Oh, yeah, you know what that means, Sacramento. Welcome on back alongside Henry the High Flyer. I am Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140. That music means football, 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 football. Week 2 coming up this Sunday. Actually, Week 2 started technically last night.
Right.
The
Thursday
Eagles defeated the Vikings, as we're seeing the replay up on the TVs.
Do the
in
Vikings
here.
really count as NFL football?
Easy. They made the playoffs last year.
That's cold.
That was cold. They have one of the best receivers in the league.
Hey, he nice.
Their offensive line is so bad. Every highlight, you just see like five Eagles defenders.
Bro, just coming through.
It's like there's nobody there.
Cutting through like table butter. They soft.
It's crazy. But yeah, so not many feelings as good as waking up at Sunday. And I love that the game started 10 a.m. You know, you wake up about 6, 7, 8, something like that.
Get something to eat.
Get something to eat, walk your dog, do whatever your normal routine is, and then 10 a.m. On the East Coast, they got to wait till 1.
Lazy boy, right there.
Exactly.
All day.
And it goes from 10 to 10,
like you
which
said,
is my bedtime anyway.
Hey, like you said, when you don't have nothing to do.
Yep. That's the best.
Bro, you just sit there with that remote in your hand.
Yep. And I'm getting bad. I already got 2 TVs. I'm about to add a third. I'm putting them, at least I'm not covering the windows. I leave the window. So I got one above the window, and then I got one where there's not a window. But yeah, eventually, if I ever get paid, I'm definitely going to be one of those guys with a man cave.
You know what? Hey, I understand that. I'm with you. I got one big TV, but I got a bunch of screens down at the bottom.
There you go. Yeah, that's how you got to do it. All right, so we did about 5 or 6 games. We were really diving into it. We got to go a little quicker this time, Henry.
All right.
We got Chiefs-Jags. Chiefs coming off that, unveiling the banner. As Kyle pointed out, it was just like, it looked like a 4th grader put it together. It looked like something you'd see at a middle school or something.
They just added a logo to it.
Pretty much, yeah. The unveiling wasn't even exciting, but they lose to the Lions. But the Chiefs go to the Jaguars. I will say this stat again for the people that are just tuning in. Teams that start 0-2 do not make the playoffs. 90% of the time, the Chiefs are at risk at doing that in Jacksonville, an up-and-coming team that made the offs last year.
True, but Patrick Mahomes. That's all I say.
Yeah.
That's what I'm riding.
Not to mention both Jones and Kelsey, 2 of the, I would say, their second and third best players outside of Mahomes were gone last week, and they will return this week.
Right.
I'm with you on that. And the odds makers would say the same. Even though they're on the road, and I don't know if you know this, but you're supposed to get a field goal. That's supposed to be just the points that you get off top. You're supposed to get 3 points if you're at home, and KC is favored by 3.5.
There you go.
Odds makers feel the same way. Next is Colts and Texans. That's going to be an ugly game. We talked about what was the game before?
Titans and Saint. Oh
no!
you're
Well,
right.
yeah, no, because Herbert and the Chargers, they're exciting. Eckler, although he might miss the game for fantasy people, make sure you check that. Bears and Bucks is going to be ugly.
Yes,
this is another game that's going to be ugly. Colts and Texans in Texas, basically a pick'em game. It could go either way, which makes sense to me because they both stink.
Texans.
Okay, then I'll just take the Colts for fun.
There you go.
But both starting rookie quarterbacks, we'll see how that shakes out.
Battle of the young guns.
We've been talking about it all day. Niners and Rams. People seem to be going towards the Rams as the line has shifted, Henry.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? So the colors don't matter then?
It was 8.5. It's only a touchdown now. But I think you said any given Sunday, you don't take any opponent lightly.
Nope. You're on the road.
Which I understand.
You're on the road.
And the Rams look better than we thought. Stafford might be healthy after having a very injury-plagued season last year. McVay's an excellent coach. They got that scary man that made whatchamacallit say, oh, my God.
Yeah, Big D.
Geno Smith up in Seattle. So, you know what? Divisional games like this, I wouldn't be shocked if it was closer than what they think. But I still do think that the Niners win semi-comfortably in the end.
I'll roll with that.
Okay. Next up, we have Giants and Cardinals. Giants, after making the playoffs last year, actually winning a playoff game last year, the same Vikings that Kyle just threw under the bus, saying that do they even really count? They won in Minnesota last year. They brought back Saquon Barkley. They gave Daniel Jones a fat deal. And the defense looked great last year, but they looked horrible.
They got smacked.
When I say horrible,
smacked.
That was, and I hate when a horrible game is on, when it's the only game. And that was Sunday Night Football, and that was another one of those games similar to the Niners and the Steelers where the game was over before it started.
Right, and you know, to show you how bad they were, everybody started talking about the Jets game before the Jets even played because they were like the Giants were just that bad.
Pretty much, yeah. Anytime you're previewing a game that's in the future before that game's over, that's a bad sign.
In fairness to the Giants, they are also probably not NFL football.
The Giants?
The Giants and the Vikings both.
Well, I would say the Cardinals aren't, but I would say I think they're going to bounce back, and the Cardinals are do they have a phrase yet for the USC kid? They usually did. They did like tanking for Tua.
Right.
They did like suck for luck. I've
heard
when the
collapse
Colts
for Caleb.
Collapse for Caleb. There you go. That's what the Cardinals are doing. So I expect the Giants to bounce back. Then we have those Jets who snapped. What do they say? Snatched the jaws of victory from the jaws of defeat, something like that. I'm messing the phrase up.
Snatch victory from the jaws of defeat.
There you go. And they play the Cowboys in Big D, Jerry's world. That should be a good game.
Yeah, because the Cowboys won the other day, and all the Cowboy fans is like, Dak is back.
I know.
Dak is back.
They're like cockroaches.
Man, they
come out the woodworks, and they're impossible to kill.
As soon as a little bit of light come on, boy, they scatter up.
Exactly. Yeah, when the playoffs come is when they all go away.
Right.
Man, Dallas is a heavy favorite. 9 at home. I mean, a lot of that has to do with the fact that Zach Wilson's going to be under the center and not that bad man, Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
I think it'll be closer than that because the Jets defense forced 4 turnovers on Josh Allen in the second half alone.
The defense is what won the game. Let's keep it 100.
Yep.
The defense is what got them back, and then the Jets were able to pound the ball into the end zone.
Anytime you have a defender named Sauce, you got a chance. So I think it'll be closer than what the odds makers are saying, but I do see the Cowboys pulling that out. All right, a couple more here. We already did Dolphins, Patriots. Commanders, or whatever you want to call them. I think they're going to change their name again. They were the Washington football team. The name you can't say, the Commanders. New ownership now. I think they're changing their name again. For now, they are the Commanders. They play in Denver against the Broncos, who looked horrible against the Raiders last week.
I mean, Russ looked bad. The whole squad looked bad. So I
thought Sean Payton was going to turn that around, but go ahead.
I'm going to roll with the Commanders on that one.
Okay.
Please don't watch that game. Anyone listening, please don't watch that.
I'm interested. I did, because Sean Payton is supposed to be a quarterback whisperer. He won the Super Bowl with Drew Brees. I thought he was going to turn Russ around.
I did too.
But Russ might be headed to his third team if he doesn't turn it around quick. All right, we did Dolphins, Patriots, rapid fire here. Saints in Carolina. Okay. And then Cleveland, they're doing a doubleheader on Monday night. Cleveland in Pittsburgh.
Cleveland.
Okay. All right. I like the Steelers. Mike Tomlin has not ever finished below 500. I don't think he's going to go to 0-2.
His record speaks volume.
But we'll see.
I'll give you that.
All right, coming up next, we're going to wrap up the show, check in with the boys, Whitey and Watkins. We'll do that next. You're listening to Zakariah and Henry the High Flyer right here, Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Who do they decide on for the Super Bowl?
What do you mean, halftime act?
Yeah. I know that Taylor Swift...
Yeah, turned them down, right?
At what point do people turn on Taylor Swift to be like, why don't you lower your prices? And I understand the whole Ticketmaster thing, but what about the merch? Like, legit, do you have to make $1 billion? Could you make 500 million? Could you?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Guys, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making you this guarantee. We will improve the medical condition of your ED or low T, or we'll give you your money back. Book your free appointment today. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Welcome back, Sacramento. It is Sactown Sports 1140. Alongside Henry the High Flyer, I am Zakariah. Coming up at the top of the hour. Oh, is that part of the song? It sounded like a whistle. I thought something was going on with the audio. Was I the only one that heard that?
Yeah.
Am I tripping? Am I hearing things?
Pretty much.
Am I seeing ghosts? All right. Top of the hour, Whitey and Watkins will take you from 2 to 6. And gentlemen, I want to start in a weird area just because
You just did.
Well, you didn't hear that? I'm going to go home and play that back. I heard like a
I didn't hear it either.
Maybe it's my microphone.
I heard money
tree.
trees.
I know. I'm seeing ghosts.
Yeah.
I'm hearing ghosts.
Or you got a glitch. One of the two.
So I wanted to do this on the, what do we call this thing? The handoff? The
Crossover.
What do you want to crossover? Yeah. I wanted to do it in the morning, but we played Family Feud instead, which was fun.
Oh, yeah.
They did a lot of talking about rules changes in the NFL, so I wanted to go around the horn and get your opinion. This was all sparked from the fumble. Well, sorry, I didn't mean to bring. I forgot we had a Vikings fan in the building.
It's okay.
And he heard right now. He heard
the fumble in the end zone, which is the only place where the team doesn't retain the ball if it goes out of bounds because it goes out of the end zone instead. I agree with changing that, but then they also brought up the overtime rules. I would also switch that to college. And then there was one other one, but the other one that I like from college is only 1 foot. Because if you make an amazing catch and you get 1 foot in, I think that should be a touchdown. But let's go around the horn. Let's start first with the one from last night. Would you change that rule?
It's a terrible rule. It doesn't make sense. At the very least, we were just talking about it before we came in. At the very least, say the team that fumbled it through the end zone, you keep possession, but you go back to the 20. I don't know. But to lose possession on that, when if it goes out of bounds before it gets to the end zone, you keep it, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand the logic.
And it was a 10-point swing because they went down and hit a 100-yard field goal.
I mean, the cool part about it is, and I have to agree with Whitey, is that, you need to get a punishment, but to lose the ball is like extreme.
Yeah.
Especially when you're within inches.
Yeah.
Within inches of a touchdown and you lose the ball. And like I said, 10-point swing right there, that crushes the Minnesota Vikings. And I mean, I'm feeling a little heat over here. The air conditioning is blowing well, but I feel the heat over here.
He's prepared. He's prepared for stuff.
No,
like
I mean, it's a dumb rule. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, like if you reach for extra yards, the ground can't cause a fumble. So it doesn't make sense to me why this.
If you're reaching for the
if
pylon,
you're reaching for a pylon, why are you being punished for it?
Yeah.
It's just a really stupid.
And
rule.
the counter argument is sort of that, well, because it went out of the end zone and it was a fumble, technically the defense, but it's the same thing as it going out of bounds. I guess it's just because it's forward instead of side to side. But yeah, so that needs to be switched. But where are you at on the 1 foot? I'm a big proponent on 1 foot.
2 feet.
You like the 2 feet?
Yeah. I mean, they're the best in the world. They should get. It's always been 2 feet.
I just
and
when there's
it's
a catch
harder.
that's I know, but when the catch is so incredible, and it's just because they didn't get to. And then the other one that I'm huge on is stopping the clock after a first down, because sometimes games are just over in the NFL. In college, even if you don't have the timeouts, I like the stopping of the clock after a first down. No,
drags it out too much for me.
Yeah,
it's just too long.
And then OT rules,
they're fine. I mean, I still don't really understand why if you kick a field goal, the other team gets a chance to respond. I just think it should just
First
be
one to
sudden,
score.
it should just be sudden death.
Yeah,
exactly.
First one to score.
First one to score.
Yeah.
Those are the rules. That's why the coin toss is so important.
Yeah. All right. The other thing I was hot on is it's already considered Levi's South.
Right.
And you're going to see a bunch of red. And then I read today they're going to let the Niners wear red. It's going to be all you're going to see is red on Sunday, Whitey.
Yeah. I don't understand it. I guess well, you said yesterday, Chris, the Rams haven't had a lot of luck down there against the 49ers in their blue. So
I hear you switch it up. Yeah.
Got to try something
Yeah.
new. I mean, they get killed there every single time. There's tons of Niner fans out there, way more than there are Rams fans, if those even exist in LA. And, it's just, it's a really strange decision because I'm pretty sure the home team gets to decide which jerseys they wear. So I don't know why.
I like that theory, though. They're just like, we've been losing so much, not like maybe they'll switch it up.
Lean into it.
But like I said, I for me personally, I never let a color of a jersey affect my play.
Yeah, the game.
It makes no difference.
Yeah.
All I know is the guys that I'm dealing with got the same color jersey on that I have.
Yeah.
You have a different color. And, and me and Zach, we joked about it. If I'm the Chargers and you see all this red, I'm like a bull. I'm going at every red thing and try to destroy it.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it as motivation.
So we are obviously the home of the Kings. The other thing that we were talking about is defense, which I don't know how much you guys talked about it throughout the year as they were the high octane offense, but how much better do you think this team got defensively from this upcoming year versus last year?
They couldn't get any voice.
Well, they could have got 6 spots worse.
Am I right?
Wow.
Yeah. Am I right?
Wow.
Am I right?
24 out of 30.
24 is tough. But I tell you what, though, I mean, I am a huge component of JaVale McGee. I honestly think that he checks off a lot of boxes that the Sacramento Kings really needed desperately. He checks off rebounding. He checks off rim protection. He checks off pick and rolls. He's a big guy in the middle. And the Kings got killed on the rebounding game, most games that they lost. So I think he's a guy that will come in and really help them make that next step.
Can I ask you a question, Henry, then? Because
Yes.
I've been kind of pushing this, like, the Kings have really been trying to find this rim protector. Like, they try to get Nerlens in here and Demias Queta. That was his main selling point. Is it kind of like a moot point, though? Because to me, the real issue is that they're a turnstile on the perimeter. And it's like, yeah, you can get a goalie that can maybe, block a couple shots a game. But to me, like, it's not really solving the root of the problem.
On-ball defense is going to have to be a main issue. And I think Coach Brown is definitely going to hold people, I told Zach, accountable more than he did last year.
Sure.
That's going to be the number one.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, you can't teach 7 feet.
There you go.
You can't teach 7 feet.
Yeah.
When you're 7 foot and you got a wingspan of a 747, you can block shots, you can deter shots.
Yeah.
You might not even block them, but you're going to make guys change shots.
Sure.
And JaVale McGee is great at that.
Did you play with Randy Allen?
Yes.
Okay. Jerry's going to come on today. Jerry Reynolds. He
Nice.
told us a story doing our podcast. He says they're playing against Indiana and Rick Smith. So they're playing against Rick Smith.
Right.
You probably played in this game.
I was on their team.
Yeah. And he says he's watching the game and he sees Rick Smith's posting up. And Jerry turns to his assistant and says, "Where is our center?" And he says, as he says it, he see these two little hands come out from behind Rick Smith.
And Randy's behind.
Randy, it was like 6'7" or something like that.
Randy's behind.
Yeah. So it's the Kings have had a history of not having a great rim protection.
Yeah, I mean, you can't teach 7 feet.
Yeah. Who's the biggest person you ever saw on the basketball floor?
Mark
New
Eaton.
Ball?
Mark Eaton?
Mark Eaton.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a great call. Okay.
He was tall
That makes
and
sense.
wide.
Yeah.
He's big.
Yeah. Just massive. Just a load. Yeah.
Yeah, and also don't forget Duarte coming in. I think he's going to improve them defensively.
That's his guy.
And
He
also,
loves it.
and if Davion improves his 3-point shot and he stays on the court more, more off night, the better.
But the main thing is, I really expect Coach Brown is going to hold everybody another step accountable
With a year in the books.
because he understands that in order for the Kings to take that next step, that's going to have to happen across the board.
Gotcha. All right. Well, stay tuned for Whitey and Watkins, for Henry the High Flyer, and Kyle behind the glass. I've been Zakariah. You've been listening to Sactown Sports 1140.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.